ambergris is a waxy substance that originates as a secretion from what animal? 215-263 WMMR, the number. And we are going to go to Andy, see if we can get an answer. Andy, good morning.
Good morning. Lick that ass.
Yeah.
What is this?
I don't know. It's happened more than once now.
Yeah.
Lick that ass.
Okay.
Andy, what is the animal that gives us ambergris, please?
Sperm whale.
Yeah, sperm whale. Yeah, you got it.
It's worth a lot, too, isn't it?
More than gold. It's very, very pricey. Andy, hang on. We are going to set you up, sir, with a family 4-pack of tickets to the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair, valid any weekend in September. You can get ready to live the excitement and adventure of jousting nights and royal delights with colorfully costumed villagers and merrymakers. Ready to make your visit an unforgettable experience. Tickets and information available at parenfair.com. We are starting with Kim Kardashian.
Speaking of ass licking,
She's bearing her booty for the September 2022 American Dream issue of Interview. Now, I saw these pictures. This looks nothing like Kim Kardashian.
Doesn't look
to
like
me.
her?
Nothing like
Where
Kim
are
to
they?
me. Take a look right here. Nick's got that pulled up. She appears in bleach blonde hair and eyebrows. She has dyed her eyebrows blonde.
Okay.
And a pair of jeans slung below a jock strap that she's wearing for the cover photos. I think she looks terrible in these pictures.
Interview always does. Wasn't Interview the magazine where this quote-unquote broke the internet with the champagne into the glass on her ass?
I don't remember.
That's not her.
Yeah, it doesn't look like her, right?
It looks ridiculous.
I had to search around to go, all right, I need to make sure that this is actually the cover and this is Kim Kardashian.
It looks like a robot version of Lady Gaga.
And not even like the dyed eyebrows, fine. The dyed hair, all of that. Like the face doesn't even look like her.
The face doesn't look like her. Inside the issue, Kim addressed accusations that she is using her new private jet, despite saying she's doing her part to combat climate change. She told the magazine, I do what I can, but you have to pick and choose what really works for you in your life.
And I don't like flying with the rabble.
No one's going to be
They're scum.
100% perfect. It just doesn't look like her.
Who is that?
She also opened up about her ex-boyfriend, Pete Davidson, who she was still dating at the time of the interview, and she called him a cutie.
Yeah.
And said he's literally such a good person.
Literally.
They don't really make them like him anymore. I'm excited for what he has coming up.
Yeah, like getting dumped by me.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what ended up happening.
Yeah, these are disturbing photos.
So it's so disturbing.
Strange. Okay.
Though you should try it, Kathy. I think it'd be a wild look like Roy Batty from the Blade Runner movie.
I mean, you're literally not yourself. Okay, so I'll take a picture and I'll let me pick who I can be.
I'm shocked that she would let these pictures be published because it just doesn't look like her, and I think she looks bad.
Yeah.
All right. Anyhow, so there's controversy. At the Don't Worry Darling premiere, there's a video where many people think that Harry Styles spit on Chris Pine. So it's maybe he spit on Chris Pine. There's no confirmation on whether it happened or not. However, at the end of this conversation, I do have an official word.
So did you hate yourself for watching it over and over? I did. I watched it like this Zapruder film.
No, I hate myself for reading the thread that Nick sent me of why all this drama is taking place. And that's 10 minutes I'll never get back.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Oh, my God.
I loved every second of it.
So there's actually there's word from Chris Pine's camp, but if those of you not familiar, apparently some journalists had to round up the cast. Well, no, this was the conjecture that we may have to wait until they round up the cast for a 10-year oral history of the film before we find out what happened, but. Apparently, you can see in the video, they're at the premiere, and Styles kind of pinches his face a little bit, not with his hands, but kind of like, you know, he makes a face, and it looks like he kind of spit at Pine, who then pauses as he's clapping and looking down at his hands and goes, kind of like, looks up like, okay, what was that?
Yeah, he's laughing.
That expression. And they end up, afterwards, they're kind of joking around and laughing. So There are a few theories as to what happened, and I'm not really going to go through them.
It's actually as many theories as there are about the Kennedy assassination.
So Pine's team has denied that Harry spit on him. The Wonder Woman actor's representative told E! News on Tuesday, people are seeing some odd illusion of sorts online that is clearly deceiving. There is nothing but respect between these two men. This is a completely fabricated exchange, and any suggestion otherwise is a blatant attempt to create drama that simply does not exist. So you don't see any spit.
Okay.
But you see Harry is about to sit down. He leans over where Chris is. His face is kind of looks a little funky. Oh my
God.
Wow.
I left the N out of funky. His face looks a little funky.
Okay.
And then you see Chris Pine pause and look down at his hand and look up and kind of have this expression on his face like what just happened.
It did line up.
Yeah, it lined up. But
by the way, a quick question to you. He's involved with Harry Styles is involved with Olivia Wilde.
yeah, they're a couple.
That was a very cold sort of interaction that they had. So there was there was a body expert as well dissecting the whole thing, body language.
Yeah.
And this body language expert he suggested, don't be surprised if you hear about a split between them because all the things he was sending visually indicated it's over.
But I also read that they may be doing that on purpose to look and appear professional as opposed to a couple because you're talking about an entire cast of people for this film.
True.
Who the hell
We do that all the
knows?
time. We're all involved in inter-show sexual relationships.
Steve,
but
I
when we're
did-
out in public,
let it show.
we don't.
Don't let it
We
show.
don't let it show.
So this thread that I sent to Preston, I can't believe that I read all of it. But Steve, it is like it's awful and silly and trite and complete nonsense. But I find it fascinating.
I find this one fun a little bit
Yeah,
for some
and-
reason
and
because
so
it involves spit.
Right, and then there's so many interested parties like
Really?
Florence Pugh, Jason
Shia LaBeouf.
Jason
Shia's in there.
Sudeikis.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I mean, all of these things tie in with one another, and
love
so
it.
Spitgate has led to somebody the press tour. Press tour for this movie is getting much more press than the movie itself because of
Right.
everything that's involved with all. And then Harry Styles collar. What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
with that?
Well,
It's
everybody's
huge.
trying to distract from Chris Pine's hair.
Yes.
That's what's going on here. His hair is so bad. He's like, can you do me a favor? Spit on my lap and wear a giant collar.
Oh,
so
God,
nobody
I
talks
think he
to-
looks adorable.
Nobody. Oh my God!
What
I
about-
saw
what about-
one picture? He looks like a grandmom.
How about the high waters on his pants?
I
Did you
hate
notice
it.
that?
It looks
They're like going
ridiculous.
up mid calf.
Oh,
Come
I don't
on,
want-
man.
I think he looks good. I didn't
He's a
even,
good looking dude.
I didn't even notice the collar until you said that.
Listen, he's one of probably the most solidly, classically good-looking guys you'll ever see. So why F it up?
Yep. Yeah. Don't mess with him, man.
Don't spit on that,
Chris
my
Pine.
man.
He's got those heavenly eyes.
His blue eyes that just look right through you.
I
He
have
can
not.
bridge my enterprise anytime.
I have not watched the actual video of him, quote unquote, spitting yet. I've only seen doctor videos. Did you see the one where he drops a dead goat into his lap instead?
No.
I need to see that.
Yeah.
I need to see those.
That's great.
That's more fun than the thread that Nick sent over. All right. Anyway, we have some other stories.
There is other news.
Yeah, we'll go to this. The 22-year-old Jane Doe, who's accused Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears of sexually abusing her and her brother, has written a letter saying that the officer assigned to her case hasn't done much to address her complaint and that she's more than ready to lay out what she feels is an irrefutable case. She also said that Haddish and Spears need to be arrested immediately. Like, this person is really buckling down. As previously reported, Haddish and Spears were named in a suit that stems from a 2013 skit uploaded to Funny or Die titled Through a Pedophile's Eyes, which Jane Doe, who was 14 at the time, and her 7-year-old brother were subjects in the video. She addressed the letter to the L.A. County District Attorney, saying that the LAPD has no contact with them, has had no contact with them in 2 years since they filed suit. The letter stated this matter breadth and complexity require your jurisdictional powers and resources to tackle and end the stream depravity committed by Haddish and Spears. So they're holding fast, and we'll see.
But they've already lost, right?
We'll see where this goes.
So what's happened is that a number of lawyers that have been secured to represent these plaintiffs have then come to drop the case or leave the case because they felt there was not substantive evidence to proceed forward. That's what they're claiming. I think you may have to end up just getting this into court to finally hash out what the story is.
Figure out what's going on. Yep. Well, it looks like Jason Momoa is changing up his style. He shared a video of someone shaving off his hair for a good cause. He posted it and captioned it, here's to new beginnings, let's spread the aloha. be better at protecting our land and oceans. We need to cut single-use plastics out of our lives and out of our seas. Plastic bottles, plastic bags, packaging, utensils, all of it. Let's aloha our aina together. I don't know what that means.
There are aloha are hyenas.
No, aina.
Or anuses.
A-I-N-A, together. Momoa's video began with someone taking clippers to the side of his head. He said, "Oh, man, I've never felt wind right there," while smiling. He also showed his fans his cut-off braids and said that he was cutting his hair to raise awareness about single-use plastic. So it's a big deal for him to cut his hair.
Yeah. If you see footage of him in that Baywatch Hawaii series from years ago, he looks like he's 11 years old.
Right.
But the thing that always his eyes are so unique. He almost actually has Aquaman's eyes.
He said, I'm tired of these plastic bottles. You got to stop. Plastic forks, all that stuff which goes into our land, which goes into our ocean. I'm here in Hawaii right now, just seeing things in our ocean. It's just so sad. So please, anything you can do to eliminate single-use plastics in your life, help me. He ended the video by encouraging people to switch over to canteens and other reusable bottles to better serve the environment.
Okay, good question, Preston. And Aquaman. How come no one saw the light of those cities?
Yeah, I know. I know.
I enjoyed the movie, but
there's like millions
Jesus
of
Christ.
people down there.
It's
So
like no one saw that.
I agree.
Kathy, do you think Jason Momoa is a good-looking dude?
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah,
he's not your style, though, right?
Yeah, no, not completely
Not Chris
mine,
Pine
but-
looking like Florence Henderson.
Jerry Seinfeld is now a model. The comedian is starring in Kith's Fall 2022 campaign. Complex reports that the full collection includes collaborations with Russell Athletic, the latest 8th Street by Ronnie Feig for Clark's Originals update, and
I know none of
exclusive
those.
New Balance colorway. So these are shoes and things like that. I mean, Clark's and New Balance. New era headgear and more. So Jerry Seinfeld is going to be modeling this stuff, believe it or not.
I would imagine he has a piece of the company. He's not, he's a savvy businessman.
Now, Selma Blair is officially an icon. She's got the Gap ad to prove it. The actress, known for her roles in Legally Blonde, Cruel Intentions, and more, is one of the faces of Gap's new Icons campaign, which, according to the brand, celebrates modern American optimism and creating a positive change by simply being your truest self.
I want to be a model for Amazon Shorts.
Okay.
We should all have our thing.
Right.
Do they make them? They have their own brand? Or just ones you
Oh my
order?
God,
order.
Amazon fashion.
Right.
Wait, the Amazon fashion influencers is a whole thing, Steve.
Really?
We could set you up,
These are Amazon Shorts.
and if you post them and then somebody buys them, you get a kickback.
Oh, my God. Wow.
I've been tagging Adidas in so many of my posts because that's all I wear in the winter, especially. I got like my Adidas sweatpants.
Listen, we were about to sign lucrative deals
Yeah.
for the suits. What is it, Nick? The company
Velour.
Vellamino.
Vellamino.
Yeah.
We're about to be top level Vellamino models.
I believe we are going to be the East Coast models.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Casey, Adidas hasn't reached out to collab yet?
No, they have not collabed.
Who you just bought a whole new wardrobe. Who are you going to collab with?
Nordstrom Rack.
Ooh, who are you wearing?
A lot of Mark Antony.
No, I was. Casey? What's the name of this shirt?
Okay.
I bought
Rebel Wilson.
I bought a few of these.
Abound.
Abound.
Bought a few
I
of these
like it.
Abound shirts.
Abound.
A new line of clothing endorsed by Preston Elliott. Abound. The hands of a drummer, the soul of a singer, the brain of a poet.
The soul of a singer. So, nonetheless, yes, look for that new collab with me and Abound. But she,
Abound for morning show hosts.
it's exclusively morning show host clothing. So Selma Blair said, "How smart were they to include me?" She was joking. She said, "This makes me so happy. I've not felt happy about photographs or a campaign in this way for a while." And for Blair, the campaign has been a fun endeavor for her after, of course, her diagnosis with multiple sclerosis in 2018 and stem cell transplant in 2019. She's had major ups and downs over the past few years as she's learned to deal with her new way of life as her MS affects everything she does.
She's honestly been very amazing to watch it. On Instagram, she posts the ups and downs, but I've always liked her, and it's cool to see her in a good place.
Yeah, me too. Steve, you had sent over some audio of Jeanette McCurdy. Marissa, do you have that sent
Yeah,
over?
it's ready.
Yeah. So she was from iCarly and Sam and Cat. And
You guys are actually more familiar with her initially when her name started popping up.
she's a fun comedic actress on Nickelodeon.
And she sort of walked away from it, or it might be coming back, but she was on Red Table Talk.
Yeah.
And she's written a book, I guess.
Okay.
And her mother was apparently and she's said this before in other interviews, crazy abusive mentally.
Yeah, and Jeanette was kind of forced into the acting realm.
Didn't want to do it.
Didn't really want to do
Yeah.
it and stuck with it for a while. And when she had the chance to make her own decision, she got out. But her mother had passed away.
I believe her mother's passed away, and so so in this book there are a collection of some letters that the mother wrote to her.
Okay.
And so she reads one to the
I haven't heard this yet, so I want to check this out.
This is an email that my mom sent me. Dear Nat, I am so disappointed in you. You used to be my perfect little angel, but now you are nothing more than a little, all caps, slut, floozy, all used up. I knew you were lying about Colton. I had told her I was with a friend, Colton. Add that to the list of things you are. Liar, conniving, evil. You look pudgier too. It's clear you're eating your guilt. What happened to my good little girl? Where did she go? And who is this monster that has replaced her? You're an ugly monster now. I told your brothers about you, and they all said they disown you just like I do. We want nothing to do with you. Love, Mom. P.S. Send money for a new fridge. Ours broke.
Whoa.
The P.S. gets me.
Send money for a new fridge. Wow.
Well, that sucks. And has she, Nick, look on IMDb, has she done, or has she, last thing she did was in 2018.
And if you can see if her mother in fact has passed, I believe it was her that she made some comments after the passing of her mother, and
It's too bad that she had to go through that, but she's trying to.
God. The name of her book is I'm Glad My Mom Died.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Well, there you go.
Ooh.
Okay, interesting. That might be worth a read. Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of dying, I do have,
Great
unfortunately,
Mother's Day gift.
a couple of deaths. Peter Straub, best-selling and beloved novelist who spun dark fantasies and literary horrors, including 2 co-authored projects with Stephen King, passed away on Sunday. His wife confirmed that he died following complications caused by a broken hip.
Always liked his stuff. I read the book. Was it The Talisman he wrote with Stephen
He wrote
King?
The Talisman and Black House. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I
They
liked
were
The
okay.
Talisman. They were okay, yeah. I just read the one.
Not my favorites, but yeah, it was interesting stuff, and there were some Dark Tower tie-ins, but Stephen King wrote had said that working with him was one of the greatest joys of my life. He was a 14-time Bram Stoker Award nominee and 10-time winner of that. He was also honored in 2008 with an International Horror Guild Living Legend Award. And highlights from his prolific 4-decade career include his debut horror novel, 1975's Julia, and his 5th work, 1979's Ghost Story, and both were adapted into films with the loose cinematic reworking of Ghost Story starring Fred Astaire.
That movie should have been great, and it's not.
I agree.
Yep.
So 79 years old. And then this is an influencer, a TikTok influencer. This is a horrible story. I'm not familiar with her. Her name was Tanya Pardazzi. She died in a skydiving accident and was only 21 years old. She's a former Miss Canada semifinalist, and she was skydiving in Ontario on August 27th. The company that she was with said that Pardazzi opened her parachute too late while in the air doing her first solo course.
Oh, man.
She was rushed to the hospital, pronounced dead. The skydive company said in a statement, the skydiver released a quickly rotating main parachute at a low altitude without the time or altitude required for the reserve parachute to inflate.
Doesn't something start beeping like crazy once you hit an altitude?
No, I think what happened was, it says here, she released a quickly rotating main parachute at a low altitude and then didn't have time to get the reserve chute. So there must have been something wrong with that first one, but she was already too low to use the reserve. So it's messed up. So they're working with police to try and find out. She had around 100,000 TikTok followers and competed in the Miss Canada Beauty pageant. All right, and then we only have time for one more story. Let's go with, this one. Jake Paul. Announced yesterday he's going to take on 47-year-old former UFC middleweight champion Anderson Silva.
So, okay.
In a boxing match. So they're not going to MMA. They're not going to fight MMA. They're going to just box.
Go ahead.
Silva's a mega badass.
He is, but he's also 47, and I saw the announcement yesterday, and I don't know how Jake is, but like this is kind of what he does.
He's actually good enough,
right?
So he's the people that he's faced off against, but he's facing off with people.
Oh yeah, they're way
at
past
the ass end of their legitimacy, and so that's what happens. But Jake Paul doesn't take it for granted. He trains. He's in good shape. He's got a solid build on him, and he practices.
Yep.
But fight a contemporary of his age range. He'd get destroyed.
I would think so.
Yeah, I mean, Silva at a time was the best pound for pound fighter in the UFC, and then he snapped his leg in half, and I guess I don't think I've ever seen him fight after that.
The match is going to be October 29th in Phoenix, and the YouTuber turned Boxer's Most Valuable Promotions, that's the name of the company, said the fight will be contested at 187 pounds over 8 3-minute rounds. So they're going to go 8 rounds. And it'll be the 4th bout by Paul against a former UFC fighter. Silva is one of the greatest champions in UFC history.
So you wonder, what do they get? What's the arrangement? What happens behind closed doors as far as what they agree to do and not do? But I mean, even if you lose, Silva's, I'm sure, going to clean up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's going to be money to be had for sure. All right. Clips. Lord of the Rings of Power series takes place thousands of years before the events of J.R.R. Tolkien's stories and introduces an entire cast of new characters. In this clip, Owen Arthur talks about transforming into the large, featured, very hairy Prince Durin IV.
The best thing about it was that I got to really become a completely different person. And the worst thing about it is that I had to become a completely different being because the whole process, prosthetic nose, the wig, the beard comes in like 16 different parts. I mean, I love to complain about it, but secretly, I love that I get to be different day to day.
Shut up, dummy.
New episodes of Lord of the Rings of Power premieres Friday on Amazon Prime. Here's our next clip.
Oh, you're getting an award.
Casey had to step out. All right, here we go. Amber, Ashley, Brianna, Caitlin, Cheyenne, Jade, Leah, and Macy.
We're all here.
We're all integral parts of the Teen Mom series, despite working separately. And here, Brianna de Jesus talks about bringing the 8 women and their families together for Teen Mom Next Chapter.
Yeah. The best thing about it was...
I'm sorry.
Very regal on Teen Mom. The thing is, they're all very loose in their sexual habits, and they're often getting pregnant with all sorts of men.
At various young ages.
Yeah, various young ages at all sorts of social events and parties and beach whatnots.
Whatnots?
Floppy poppy and what?
Absolutely.
Yes.
With their various lady parts exposed in the wind, enticing virile young men.
Teen Mom, Next Chapter. Here we go.
I feel like I was super excited to actually come together as one unit because technically that's what we are anyways. So being able to be on one show is great. We all got to come together for our trip, which was awesome to have everybody there. I think it's great. We all have a group chat. We chat with each other. Like, it's good vibes. Finally, good vibes.
You're a complete dirty whore.
Teen Mom Next Chapter debuted last night on MTV. So there you go, friends.
That
everything
was always mind. Isn't that where Farrah Abram came from? Teen Mom?
Teen Mom, yeah. Okay.
Oh, my God.
All right, well, we have some stuff going on besides all that. We have a secret text word chance for you to win tickets to see Tenacious D. Kyle and Jack are going to be performing Sunday at the Man.
Cool.
So let's get you on board. Text word secret to 39333. You might win a little bit later on. And speaking of later on, we're going to give away tickets to see Kevin Smith tonight at the Keswick Theater. Clerks 3. He will be in attendance for Q&A. And then Kevin's coming by here tomorrow in our studio, which is pretty damn awesome. So we have these things and more on top of the A to Z. We're in the No section, N-O. So make sure that you stay with us, and maybe you can guess about what's coming up next. We will continue that. In fact, it's going to be no songs all morning long on our program. There are that many of them. So we'll be back in just a second. Stay with us. Prices roll, now as Obi-Wan Kenobi in a series that centers around his Star Wars character for Disney Plus, according to the Hollywood Reporter.
It is Obi-Wan Kenobi, attorney at law. It's a departure.
That would be.
Yeah. I think you should let him off with time served. Giving you time served.
He's using the Jedi mind trick to sway the judge.
I think you should find him innocent. I'm finding you innocent. I object! There's no way that's legal!
It's totally legal.
Oh, my God.
I think you need to go to sleep. I got to go to sleep now.
That would be...
That would
be brilliant.
I would totally
Attorney at law.
This isn't the evidence you're looking for.
Yeah.
Even if you're stone cold guilty, give me a call.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the commercials. Yeah.
Demand Kenobi.
Yeah. And he's licensed in Missouri.
I am.
Yeah.
And even if I'm not, I'll convince them I am.
Yes, that's right.
I'm licensed in Missouri. He's licensed in Missouri.
Better call Obi.
Would he wear a Would he be a cowboy hat?
Space cowboy.
Lawyer?
Yeah.
Type? Oh, my God. Obi-Wan Kenobi, attorney at law.
Anytime, day or night, even on New Year's Day.
Coming soon to Disney Plus.
Or Life Day on the Wookiee home planet.
No, this could be good. I loved him as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I didn't care for the series of movies, but I thought he pulled it off
I agree.
wonderfully.
He was the thing that kept me watching, and he provided, I believe, the emotional core to those. The second and third movies I really do like. I think they're good. In just tone and in some way, the distinction between the Abrams movies, the artificiality of the first trilogy was almost too much. It was so CGI'd that it was hard to connect to.
Yeah,
But
everything on the screen was fake.
Yeah.
Except for the people, and even in that case, a lot of like Jar Jar obviously was fake. But there's a big stretch of time where we don't know what happens with Obi-Wan, and maybe they'll fill in that time.
Yeah.
with his law career.
Law school.
With this,
Passing the bar.
Mr. Kenobi, do you have anything to say? John Houseman.
So anyhow, we'll see when that eventually
He gets his own
surfaces.
judge show.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
This bitch still got my TV. Give the TV back.
He's settling these small claims cases.
It's like Sam
This bitch still got my TV.
Oh my God. Oh.
I suggest you return the TV. Give me the TV.
All right, TMZ reports that Davy Chase. Now, I looked her up, and it says she started the ring. She was Samara. She's the psycho.
Yes.
The scary girl.
The girl in the well.
And by the way, turns out she's gorgeous.
Yes, she is.
She was arrested, and she was arrested on a drug possession charge and spent some time behind bars. Yeah.
But she escaped through the television, didn't she?
She did. She managed to get out
knew
of there
we were
through the
going that
TV.
way.
But she's had some run-ins. Last year, she was locked up after cops pulled her over for joyriding in an allegedly stolen car.
She was locked up for 7 days.
Is the phone rings after 7 days or something like
In
that?
7 days. Yeah, that's when you die. You have 7 days to get your affairs in order before you're...
7 days.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie. 6.5.
7 business days.
Business days? So that means I get the weekend, too?
Well, it's Monday's Labor Day, so about 8 days. All right, just stay there. I'm going to come over and kill you now.
Yeah, if you could be more specific, it might help in planning. So,
What if I go across the international date line?
Let me get back to you.
coming up soon, we'll be addressing Halloween. But
Yes.
it's a favorite costume for Halloween parties and haunted houses.
Which is the one where you go to where they have a girl who really does the full, like, clicking and the whole body gesticulation.
Is that Penhurst?
No, it's there's probably one there, but there's one, maybe it's
there's one
it's the one way out where we always get lost going to.
It's in Bucks County.
Yeah.
I know exactly the one you're talking about.
Girl who does
Fear?
Nah,
might be
Valley of Fear.
It's out kind of in a woodsy area.
It's Grotto of Consternation is the name of it.
Hang on. Chrissy is on the line to tell us about that haunted attraction. And it is Valley of Fear, isn't it? So it's Valley of Fear?
It is Valley of Fear, and the girl who does play the one from The Ring, who was there for a long time. Liz is just a phenomenal singer too. I just wanted to let you guys know.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah, she's incredible. She's incredibly talented.
And she was good. It says you were moving along, she'd move along, and she never sang really, but she
She didn't
I'm
sing.
the chick from The Ring, and I'm coming after you.
So her name is Liz.
Yes, Liz.
All right, cool. Thank you, Chrissy. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Cause in 7 days
See ya.
you're through. Chapter-ba.
All right.
It's not that scary.
I know it's not
Yeah.
scary when you sing it.
Yeah, right? Wouldn't it be a little less if it were a musical?
I live in a well and my life's kind of hell and I'm coming after you.
My life's kind of hell.
I'm the chick in the well and my life's kind of hell, but I'm a coming after you. In 7 days.
7 days.
In 7 days.
7 days.
7 days. Coming after you in 7 days.
Hey,
The Ring, the musical.
Turn my mic on. You turn his mic off.
I didn't turn it off. I think you might have hit the button yourself there, dude.
Uh-oh.
no, there we go.
I just hit that button.
All right.
Wait a second. What's going on?
Wait a
What
second.
just happened here?
Your mic will turn off in 7 seconds. Your mic will turn off in 7 seconds.
What? I don't have a mic.
So, what's going on with Lindsay Lohan and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia?
I'm sorry, I don't kiss and tell.
Mohammed bin Salman is his name.
Hey, Sababin bin Dalbin.
Rumors are Mohammed bin Salman.
Salbin bin Dagbin. I love you.
Mohammed bin Salman.
What?
Rumors are circulating that the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, who many critics say is a dictator and the real power behind the throne of his father, King Salman, and the perpetually beleaguered Lilo have formed a special relationship of some sort.
Wait, it's a cup of good roast beef?
Some believe that he is a dictator and the real power behind the throne of his father, King Salman. So sources spill that he flies her around on his jets and showers her with presents, even gifting her with a credit card.
Oh, it's a Discover card. It pays you for every purchase.
A rep denies the claim.
What's in your wallet?
What's in your wallet? But sources insist that Lindsay, who has been based partly in Dubai for a few years, is regularly courted by Middle Eastern dignitaries.
I love dictators.
In Saudi culture of late. And
Kim Jong-un, this is Lindsay.
last year declared her intention to make an all-female film dubbed Frame about Saudi Arabian life.
I want to make an all-female version of Steel Magnolias.
It is an all-female. It's already.
God damn it.
If Lindsay is, in fact, good friends with him, she wouldn't be the first Hollywood star to cavort with dictators. Kim Jong-un and Dennis Rodman, Hilary Swank and Ramzan Kadyrov.
Yes.
Steven Seagal and Vladimir Putin are just a few of the reported Hollywood political odd couples. So Lindsay might be, I don't know, tight with Mohammed bin Salman.
Wow.
And yeah, it's pretty wild, isn't it? A former Cape Breton University student says that she regrets not making a formal complaint 3 years ago against a professor who was fired this summer for demanding moose meat, lobster, and sex from a student in exchange for better grades.
In that order?
Moose meat, lobster, and sex.
All right, you don't have moose meat. You don't have lobster.
You got any lobster?
Sex. All right, look, how about sex?
She said,
Wait, I found some moose meat. Yeah!
She said, I wish I did something back then. I wish I got him fired, Jess Hardy said. Then the situation wouldn't have happened. She was a first-year student and said that Shamal Fernaduple made inappropriate comments and suggestions.
You're going to ruin the day, Fernaduple.
And her appearance, and implied that he wanted a sexual relationship with her, and he would say inappropriate things all the time. Now, unfortunately, as the story goes on, it never gets into the details about the moose meat and lobster.
Well, it's a bizarre
That's what I'm
pecking
most
order.
interested in.
Right, yes. You don't understand.
But they ended up firing this guy because he apparently did.
Was it the moose meat?
To a couple of students. It was the moose meat.
He's here in
wasn't
front
it?
of the dean. It was the moose moose meat, wasn't it? Well, actually, the number 3 on the list here, the sex.
So apparently he wasn't only demanding sex, but moose meat and lobster.
I should have stopped at lobster.
And they fired him. So there you go. That's all I have in the
It's
details.
like he's looking for something to round out the list.
Yeah.
And the sex.
Yeah. Courtney Kardashian is fighting back against critics who claim that she does no work.
Preston, are you saying she's clapping back?
She is clapping back, Steve. Yep. And she got some blowback after posting multiple shots from her family vacations in Italy and Idaho. I know.
So what's it going to be, kids? Italy or Idaho?
She's only visiting places that start with I.
Yeah.
And Idaho happened to be on the list. In Italy,
Indiana.
In Italy, the Poosh founder partied with her 3 kids, Mason, Penelope, and Rain. Remember Poosh?
I'm sorry, I just pooshed.
Yeah, that's her. Is that her lifestyle brand? Poosh?
Trying to be like Goop, I guess.
Yeah.
Poosh. I just pooshed in my pants.
People who brought you queef and drippy fart.
But she partied.
Poosh, and queef. The award-winning triple line from Courtney Kardashian.
The Poosh founder partied with her 3 kids nominally for her sister Kylie's 22nd birthday.
With the subtle scent of salmon.
Several other family members were there, as was her ex, Scott Disick, with whom she shares her children, and his girlfriend, Sophia Richie. Now, in Idaho, Courtney and her kids...
We're going to Idaho, kids!
...hung with her sister Kendall. One social media user commented, "Courtney, this is why people say you don't work, girl." And she replied, so she clapped back.
She clapped back.
"We all have our priorities, so I'll be making memories with my kids and amazing people while living my life to the absolute fullest." And then a fight broke out between commenters who praised her for prioritizing her kids over at work and others who said, as working moms, they were dedicated to family too. And so Courtney clapped back again.
So she clapped back at the mothers?
She says, "Who says I'm not a working mom? Because I most definitely am. Working moms can be dedicated, of course. As women, we should be supporting each other for what allows us to be our best, not being so critical and judgmental of each other. We all do things our own way."
Did they counterattack with the clap salvo?
I don't think so. There was not. Underlying her point, she wrote, "Travel diary coming soon."
Can't wait.
On Poosh. And I guess there must be an Instagram account because it says @Poosh. Poosh. Yeah, @Splooge. Splooge. We need to start our own lifestyle brand called
Jig Jill.
Splooge. All right. So anyhow,
that's her fight song.
Yeah, I guess so.
This is my fight song. Take back my life song.
Live it,
To be
girl.
honest, though, following her on Instagram, I don't follow her on Instagram, but I follow her through all the pages of TMZ and all that stuff as I put together stuff for the Hollywood Trash. And to be honest, I've never seen her do anything but vacation.
I know.
Yeah,
never.
That's what her job is.
That is her job.
Yep. Well, she's working hard then.
Well, just consult Poosh if you want to find out what she's up to.
Let's talk about the happiest place on earth.
It's magical.
Disney. This is Disneyland, by the way, in Anaheim. And there's a viral video, yes, that is making the rounds of a couple of families beating the ever-loving piss out of each other for about 4 minutes before they finally go their separate ways. On Chris Pine in a video. And it doesn't really look like he did spit on him. And Chris Pine's people said, no, he didn't spit on him.
The folks at NASA are reviewing the footage.
They are.
And they're being very meticulous. I agree. It doesn't look like that was the case, especially since they were sort of chatting it up and friendly after that.
Yeah.
But it is I'm surprised at how universal, how well covered this event was.
Yeah. Have you anybody ever spit on you?
Yeah.
I can't remember anybody
In school.
spitting on me.
Yeah, but it doesn't count, because we used to spit on each other at the pool. It would be a funny thing to do to somebody.
With the water, your water in your mouth in the pool?
No,
Just actually spit up?
Hocking loogies.
Oh, I would, no. I would have murdered you.
Yeah, I know. That's why we didn't hang out with you. You couldn't take a joke like the rest of us. No, it was funny because A, you're in the pool, you could just wash it right off. But also B, you would try and get the person as they were coming up out of the water, taking a breath. And so you'd aim for their open mouth as they were taking a breath.
A loogie, an actual loogie?
Oh, yeah.
I would have murdered you and your family.
No.
Because I snot. No.
That's
No.
awful.
No.
We would gleek on each other.
Explain the gleek for people who aren't familiar.
That's not spitting. So it's
an a cappella group.
No, there's a way. That's glee.
Oh, sorry.
There's a way when you open your mouth and if you move your tongue, you can shoot saliva out from in these little bitty strings. I can do it on command.
I have done it accidentally
Yeah, you can
where
do
I'm
it
talking
accidentally,
and I
but-
spit on people and I'm mortified when that happens.
Yeah, you guys have seen me do that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You're a good gleeker. In fact, your accuracy is quite good.
Yeah.
Can you gleek the camera that's covering you?
I can hit that camera right
No,
there.
I can't.
Sure.
From right there.
He did a whole.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Hey, Kathy.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Did you
We're
get that?
okay.
Everybody get that?
Slow it down.
I can't see it.
I went a little bit left of the camera that time, but hang on a second. Hang on.
Which would be me.
Now I need a little
Left of the camera.
I'm running out of
You run out of gleek fuel?
gleek fuel.
All right.
And now Preston attempts to gleek the camera.
Oh, wow.
No problem.
Perfect shot.
Wow.
I got it right on top of it.
Wow.
Right down the fairway.
Murph, do I need to wash the camera off a little bit? I do? Okay.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's my camera.
Well, no, I mean,
It covers me.
yeah, but now you have
Now you have-
droplets on your.
Oh, is there droplets on it?
Oh, wow.
I'll clean it.
Clean it
Yeah,
up.
you clean it.
Second. I did have. Hang on while I'm cleaning the camera here. Hi guys. Hi everyone watching at home. By the way. As an insult, a guy that I know was. I don't think they're not married anymore. So anyway,
No.
he and I guess it's kind of an Italian thing.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I remember him telling me, man, I really regretted doing this. But they got in a big fight, and he did the thing where you spit on the ground like at their feet.
Oh.
Which is like a severe insult, right?
So I've seen this happen. I've seen this happen like old Italian people getting into this. To me, that is nowhere near being spat upon.
Right. But it's implied.
It is implied.
I spit on you.
I will
guess.
take that any day over being spat upon. No.
Yeah.
No.
And you'll see people getting in fights and stuff like that. And then when two people are being held back, like they'll start spitting. At each other.
Oh, yeah. Well, you see it in like the NFL because the guys are wearing helmets and stuff like that. And sometimes when you see them like throwing punches, I'm like, you're wearing a helmet. You're not doing anything.
Right.
So really the only way to show and actually be able to express to somebody how much disdain you have for them is to spit at them through their face masks.
Well, you're dealing with the spitting. I guess there's no other way to convey revulsion at someone.
And
to me, being
disrespect,
spat upon,
yeah.
that is it's disgusting in general. If you're packing a loogie into that, then I'm like, oh my God, it's a whole other level.
I got a couple of police and corrections officers, and they're like, "Yeah, spitting
Constantly.
kind of a standard thing."
Yeah.
but I guess technically that can be assault.
That's assault,
right?
If you're and I recall stories where that was considered assault. When my brother was he's a police sergeant now, but prior to that he worked as a prison guard. And that was routine.
Yeah.
That they're being spat upon.
Right. Yeah.
Spitted.
I don't. Did you spit it on me?
Did you spit it on me?
I don't think Harry spit on Chris.
No.
I think, you know what I think?
He peed on Olivia Wilde.
You know what? You know what I think may have happened? I think that, like maybe a little bit of saliva dropped out of his mouth or something like that as he leaned over, or something fell and hit Chris Pine in the hand, and he kind of looked down and was like, oh my God.
One time, and I was in the back of a car with some friends, and I just turned and I talked, and it was a girl, and just whatever happened, I spat in her face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh. I mean, I was like, the world. Oh, no! I felt so horrible. And she was sweet, but I'm like, you just feel like the lowest form of life.
Yep. Well, listen, spitting's nothing, man. So I saw this. I saw this article. What case?
Nothing.
Okay. I saw.
Well, I'm looking at the video of the spit and
Harry Styles and Chris Pine.
So what you'll see is Chris Pine puts something in between his legs to clap.
Yeah.
And then he looks down in between his legs.
It's a pen.
And then he grabs it again
Oh, yeah, you're right. Or is it a pen or are those glasses?
Somebody said it was a pen.
All right, and then
maybe it's glasses you can write with.
That's what he's looking down at.
Yeah.
And he's kind of laughing at maybe something he did that okay. That's the whole new perspective, Casey. All right.
A whole new world.
Anyhow, it is a whole new world. A new, fantastic point of view. So I saw this article, and it's a phobia clinic in Amsterdam. And they have open applications for an employee who is able to vomit at will.
Oh,
so cool.
And so far, over 100 people have showed interest in the position. So,
John, your resume looks great. Would you do me a favor and vomit in this bucket?
Kent Clinics in Amsterdam deals with people who have anxiety, phobias, or PTSD.
Wow.
And its specialists treat phobias such as fear of heights, aversion to needles, and claustrophobia, for example. And the clinic also helps people overcome a fear of vomiting. And it has put out a call for a part-time position in which a person will vomit on command to help the clinic's patients deal with their vomiting phobia.
So there are a couple different levels here as I think of this. Now, do you know someone who is a in proximity vomiter? So if someone is vomiting near them, they will vomit in kind?
When I was younger, I was kind of that way.
Okay.
Like it could trigger me. If I saw somebody else puking, I might puke too.
Right.
I bet there's some people just listening to
Are
us
gonna start to
talking
vomit.
about
Yes.
it that might start to feel a little nauseous.
The same way I feel about spitting loogies into someone's mouth.
But no, I don't think I know someone who chain vomits like that.
Vomiting would be easy for me. I just, the fingers down the throat would do it.
But I'm wondering about if you can do this, if you're a listener, but without even doing the finger thing, if you can regurgitate,
then a well-paying profession is waiting for you.
There you go. Upon command, that's quite unique. And I know that there are probably people listening. There's got to be a handful of people who can do this type of thing. And in fact, you know what? It was David Blaine was trying to recreate a trick from a master in the world of being able to control his stomach, a magician of sorts who would drink water and kerosene and separate the two and bring them back up on command.
Right.
And so he started training on how to do that, on how to regurgitate this stuff out of your stomach. And I think he eventually was able to do it.
So there's the guy who's famous for eating light bulbs, that crazy, like British dude. And I've seen
back up.
Maybe Blaine did this one as well, where he actually swallowed like a toad and a living toad and brought it back up. You've seen this, right?
Yeah, it was a toad or a goldfish or whatever.
Right.
And he also what he does in his act is he guzzles gallons of water at the same time.
Right.
And then he ends up regurgitating it all. And I forget what the reasoning behind it is. If he's blowing out fire, not blowing out fire, but shooting fire out with the water from his stomach. But yeah, he's able to do that.
The other guy, the guy who was trying to emulate, could actually fire breathe. And then put fire out. He could separate the two. He would drink both kerosene and water.
That's multitasking.
That's unbelievable.
Well, I think they might naturally separate.
They
probably, and then one is going to come up before the other.
But still, to be able to do that kind of control, and you've seen the classic knotting a string in the stomach and all.
Yeah.
It's got to be some sort of.
But people who can do that, I want somebody to puke on the air this morning. I want to get somebody who can bring it back up. I'd like to hear it. 215-262.
I prefer to remain anonymous.
WMMR, it's Bill.
This is Bill. Sinner.
By the way, the guy who can swallow Rubik's cubes and stuff like that, and then change them in his stomach and then bring them back up. His name is Stevie Starr.
Stevie Starr,
not Steven Starr, the restaurateur. But
we didn't have him in studio, did we? This guy.
It seems very familiar, Nick.
I don't know. It's ringing a bell with me, but maybe I'm.
Did any one of us on the show swallow a Rubik's cube?
No.
He used to be able to do the cue ball too. You remember that? He would. Billiards balls and stuff.
Oh my God.
It's really revolting.
Do you know anyone? Now, I'm sure we know people who can burp on command.
Oh, yeah. We all can burp on command.
Zach is one
burp on command.
Our imaging guy is a great. In fact, I think this is probably not. That might be Zach.
I think
I'm not
so.
sure. Yeah.
No, you can do it?
Yeah.
So you can burp right now. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
My buddy.
I used to be able to,
guy
but I had that removed.
I played lacrosse with. He could fart on command.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's intriguing, too.
Yeah. So what he would do is he would crouch down.
He would take air into himself, right?
Suck air. Yep. And then
In his butt?
In his hole.
I've heard of that as a methodology. There are videos of people who can do that. We had a woman who queefed.
Yes, we tried to get her to blow out a candle. I think, right?
I think she did.
I think she did. I think she was successful.
Yeah.
Okay. Something like that.
She queefed out a candle, and I don't know if it's the same sort of control.
Can you sneeze on command?
No, but I can fake sneeze on command.
So I can if I go out and look up into the sun.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, Nick hears me sneeze all the time.
Can you get your period on command?
Start bleeding now.
Yeah, Casey will sneeze in the bathroom to cover up sounds. But he does it like,
I know.
Achoo!
I know.
Achoo!
He does it.
And it gets me every time. I always laugh.
I have been in there when that has happened before.
Casey, when you burp, because you burp a lot, do you burp, do the burps lessen the amount of farts for you?
Oh,
In other words, you're
If you're burping a lot, are you then farting less?
Actually, I am going to support Nick
don't
on
think
this.
so.
That has scientific ramifications.
curious.
Are you expending your internal
I don't
gas
think so.
allotment? Right? That's
Well,
what you
because
think
it's
that-
like they're not that connected, right? Like if you swallow air, you can burp it up immediately, and farts are generated from like processing of the gases
Sure,
and
but at
digestion.
some point, there's got to be a door that keeps them apart.
Is there a crossover at any point? So if you are burping more, are you perhaps farting less?
Could you, conceivably, if your wiring was bad, belch a fart?
Also, if you're driving your kids in for the first day of school today, welcome back.
Could you imagine burping and it tastes, like
a
rotten
fart.
eggs?
Oh.
No.
I'm sorry, but listen, you know that even the greatest thinkers of our world have thought about this at some point or another.
Sure.
Kathy and I were just talking.
We were
Hey,
not.
and you know how like a fart can kind of smell wonderful, your own.
Absolutely.
Your own, but I don't think I've ever in my life burped and gone, ooh, that was a good one.
No, you're probably right.
Like, smell that.
However, though, you do get a reintroduction sometimes of something that you ate that was tasty and you enjoyed that.
Oh, I had a taco for breakfast.
Right.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's specifically why I won't eat that food.
Because of the burp?
The burp. If I taste it later on in the day, it makes me so nauseous. It's why I don't eat donuts. I can't eat sausage.
Donuts make you burp?
Oh my, later in the day, I will
sausages.
burp it up and taste it, and the thought of that, I will not touch it.
That's interesting. What food makes you fart the
Stop
hardest?
this.
I thought maybe
Man,
she might
well,
not listen to the question and just volunteer.
You guys know that Blue Moon, that
Right.
beer,
That's the worst.
makes and I like the way it tastes. It makes my farts just rancid.
But not your burps. Your burps are fine. It's just
burps
normal
are
burps.
fine.
Yeah, okay.
It's farting. And
Rancid
my,
in smell or similar to the band?
and my buddy, no, the smell, not the band. But Time Bomb is a great song. My buddy Will makes a bean dish.
Oh no!
And I've had it twice. And beans don't always do the stereotypical thing for me, but
Right.
that one makes me just repeat like a howitzer the next day.
Yeah. Stephen, clearly you're not a drinker, but if you would ever drink too much beer, especially in college, like if you would chug it or whatever, and then that would force a vomit sometimes. It was mostly volume, but it was also volume combined with carbonation. There was
I could see that.
so much force behind those pukes that it was actually there was a lot of sense of relief attached to it. Like when you got that out of your body, you felt like a new man.
There are people. So that whole vomiting thing, and this study that you're talking about, Preston, there is actually, for a number of people, I would assume percentage-wise a small number, who derive sexual pleasure, that it is a fetish to vomit.
Oh, yeah.
that-
my God. I've actually seen that. Well, I mean, Two Girls in One Cup kind of had that thing going on. It's
yeah.
like, ooh.
They had,
ooh.
That was a last-minute script edition.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. No, thank you. Hang on. Let me go to some calls. I have Jess. Hi, Jess. Good morning.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Wonderful. What's up, Jess?
Well, I never really wanted to call the radio to be like, hey, yeah, I can throw up on demand. It's not like a fun party trick, but
Wow. All right.
I can do it.
So you can do that at any time, and
Yeah.
and you don't have to stick your fingers down your throat or anything. like that?
No.
Wow. When did you discover that you could do that?
Like years ago in college, I actually ended up having my gallbladder taken out. So just through the years of being sick, that's like how my body, just anything bad, that's how it comes out. I got the hiccups, throw up, no problem.
So just
yesterday I was sick, and I was throwing up, and I had to take a shower, and I was like, oh man, what if I throw up in the shower? Like, you know what? If anyone can make it to the toilet from the shower, it's me. Like, I could definitely.
You can projectile vomit?
Oh, definitely.
That's amazing. Is there?
It's not like my, it is amazing, but it's not. I wish I couldn't do it.
But okay, so it happens, like you said, but you can also do it on purpose.
Yeah. Like if I get the hiccups or.
Yeah, but you don't get the
Kathy was
hiccups
saying,
on.
if
No,
you
but you don't get the. Hang on, you don't get the hiccups on purpose. Like if I said Jess, puke right now, you could do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, but yeah.
Okay, it's all right.
No, I mean, because also you can cause sometimes for people who do this, like people who are, a very serious thing is bulimia. You can cause damage. Now
I don't know, Jess. I have a Minions movie on digital download. That's I'm willing to put that up to say that you.
Would you be willing to vomit for the Minions?
No, I think I'd have to join like OnlyFans.
Okay. By the way, you know that there's got to be in the OnlyFans realm somebody who does that.
Have you ever talked to a doctor about it, or is it a problem?
Oh yeah, they usually are just like, hey, that's weird.
Thanks,
the
Doc.
bulimia thing, I talked to my dentist because I was worried. Like, I'm not doing this to lose weight, but are my teeth going to be, jacked up from it? But they're so far so good.
So from the acid in your stomach, that would cause
That's
damage.
a big concern, and she's right. Bulimics will encounter that.
Also, side note, when you get your gallbladder taken out, that bile that you throw up is like radioactive yellow.
Ew.
It's way worse than it used to be.
Nasty.
This has been breakfast chat.
Thank you.
Don't enjoy your morning.
All right, thank you, Jess. I appreciate it. Wow. Okay, well, she can.
Now call in if you have bloody stools.
All right, I know we have to take a break, right, Case? Can I do this one last story here? Adam, you're on the air. Good morning.
That's excellent. He's doing his tribute to now.
All right, Adam, real quick, what's your story you want to share?
Yeah, so I cannot vomit on command, but one time I was eating meatloaf for dinner, and then I went over to a friend's house about a half an hour later, and it had, quasi-digested, and we were sitting down in his basement playing video games, and I had one of those burps that came up that you just kind of breathe out.
Yeah.
Like it didn't actually have any like bubbling to it. It was just kind of like a breath.
Yep.
And about 2 minutes later, he smelled it. He got a whiff, and he was like, "Oh, that smells kind of good." And he's like, "Oh man, Mom's cooking up some meatloaf right now."
Wow.
So it's like, "No, man, that was my burp. I ate meatloaf for dinner."
That's disgusting.
Nice work.
Wow.
He threw up immediately.
Oh no,
That's interesting because Kathy, you said you had if you have like a burp and you burp it up and you taste it or whatever, that'll make you sick.
Ugh.
I think I would find it disgusting if someone belched and I smell
what they
able to
had.
smell what they had.
I think that'd be pretty nasty.
That'd be pretty nasty.
Yeah. All right. Interesting. Well, listen.
Well, there's good work for you.
Yes, in Amsterdam, the Kind clinics. If you're interested, they're looking for people who can puke on command. All right.
Sorry, Tennessee.
We got to take a break. We have to go live on Fox Good Day.
Oh.
We have the Bizarre File. We have Gary Goldman coming up, and of course, we're doing the Back to School A to Z. The no section is where we are. Nothing but words that start with no, or nothing but songs that start with the word no. We'll be back. Thank you, Mel. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. Town, by the way, there was somebody on a mobility scooter.
Okay, all right.
Kathy, but the fight happens. They start to split up. Then it sparks back up again. Then they kind of split up. Then they split. It keeps going on and on.
I mean, and it's like the Andy Kaufman used to do the intergender wrestling.
Yeah.
They're brawling. Doesn't matter. The dude's beating on the woman.
Oh my God! Wait, so that's okay. I'm just seeing this for the first time. The guy
fists are
punches
flying.
the woman.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a couple of women beating up. It's just a mess.
Where's security?
Not that it's an excuse, but it kicks off. They're having words, and the woman just spits right in this guy's face, and then he slugs her. But I can't figure out who's on whose side.
No, and neither can I.
It's like I'm like, oh, He's hitting her now? I thought she was with him. And it's just, who the hell knows what's going on?
And then the woman in the mobility scooter gets up as if she
can walk.
Yeah.
It's a
miracle. This stupid fight between these imbeciles has caused a miracle.
You know what? And there's a moment in this video where the whoever is filming this video, by the way, is laughing the whole time. She's not with them because obviously she would be getting in the middle of this.
And she's up close.
But there's an older woman who gets knocked down to the ground on her back, and you hear the woman filming just laughing her ass off. And I'm like, this is, and you can hear children crying in the background.
Oh my God. There's a little kid walking around, and it's obviously this is there. I will freely admit, I chuckled a few times, but the really tragic part of this here is this little kid is watching these adults do this and walking around with his hands up like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Even a kid can't figure it out.
And he taps, I guess, who is his mother, like, hello, I'm here. Obviously he needs attention. He's upset too.
And all the while in the background, you have the delightfully colored Toontown.
Oh, my God.
Happy place.
Listen, I understand that things can go awry anywhere, and somebody can have a bad day, and something can trigger. But if you can have the presence of mind to be aware of where you are, right then and there, you're in Disneyland, the happiest place on earth. Come on, look around you, see where you are. Shut up. But some people are just... some people are just a-holes.
It just kills me in this one because there was another one, Preston. I forget it was at like a kids park. It was like an amusement park. It very well may have been Disney World. And this one's great because the woman in the mobility scooter in that one, Kathy, she doesn't get up, but she starts using her mobility scooter to join the fight. She's backing up and ramming the brawling people.
So apparently this one, they're all in the same family. They're all related.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
So this is an ongoing investigation. No arrests have been made, but there was infighting that had begun outside of the park, and the fight just continued inside the park. No arrests. They all knew each other.
Ridiculous.
Well, not yet anyway, Case. They said the investigation's ongoing. But
after they viewed the video, now they're looking at potentially.
Because then that guy goes on.
Everything. I saw it all. It was a mess.
But then the guy goes on to slap another woman and take her to the ground.
Kathy, he doesn't just slap her. I mean, and this is horrifying, but he gives her a haymaker.
Just some unwritten rules, right? Like
protocol.
Yeah, protocol.
You don't fire on someone else's bitch.
No, you don't.
Not in Toontown.
Not in Toontown, man. You take that to Epcot.
I think, Casey, of your story at the 4th of July parade all the time.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
And the bending down and addressing them as a father to kids who needed to be addressed by their father. But like you get in that mentality sometimes, and this is a place where that can happen.
You can have an Independence Day from life.
Oh, I totally understand.
I'm gonna make you independent of your life.
But on the outside, everybody else.
Hey,
is like,
what a good dad.
Oh, you were. Oh, you poor thing. You're so upset. You better stop crying right now.
Don't cry. Don't even let him know you're in pain.
A former Cape Breton University student says that she regrets not making a formal complaint 3 years ago against a professor who was fired this summer for demanding moose meat, lobster, and sex from a student in exchange for better grades.
In that order?
Moose meat, lobster, and sex.
All right, you don't have moose meat. You don't have lobster.
You got any lobster?
Sex. All right, look, how about sex?
She said,
I found some moose meat. Yeah!
She said, I wish I did something back then. I wish I got him fired, Jess Hardy said. Then the situation wouldn't have happened. She was a first-year student and said that Shamal Fernaduple made inappropriate comments and suggestions.
You're going to ruin the day, Fernaduple.
And her appearance, and implied that he wanted a sexual relationship with her, and he would say inappropriate things all the time. Now, unfortunately, as the story goes on, it never gets into the details about the moose meat and lobster.
Well, it's a bizarre
That's what I'm
pecking
most
order.
interested in.
Right, yes. You don't understand.
But they ended up firing this guy because he apparently did.
Was it the moose meat?
To a couple of students. It was the moose meat.
He's there in front of the dean. It was the moose meat, wasn't it? Well, actually, the number 3 on the list here, the sex.
So apparently he wasn't only demanding sex, but moose meat and lobster.
I should have stopped at lobster.
And they fired him. So there you go. That's all I have in the
It's
details.
like he's looking for something to round out the list.
Yeah.
And the sex.
Yeah. So I was surprised the other day when my daughter came to me and described a very specific detail of What I'm assuming, I don't know if it's a social class or if it's just a fashion or what.
Huh.
But I was like, okay, this is all new to me, and I've forgotten what the full description is. So if anybody wants to call in, if you're familiar with this term, but Visco girls?
Visco girls.
Yeah. And that's spelled VSCO.
Yeah.
Visco, you've heard of this, Nick?
I have. I hadn't heard of it until Friday. And so I learned about it just as recently as you did, Preston. Visco,
From Ben?
No, from BuzzFeed, of all places.
Okay.
I read an article about it. I saw Visco online somewhere, right, as about a post. I didn't know what those letters meant, VSCO.
Yeah, I still don't know.
It's an app, and it stands for Visual Supply Company, right? And, the reason that I know that it's an app is that my girlfriend does some photography on the side, and she's used this app to process photos. What girls now are doing, Preston, is they're taking this app and they are applying it to their social media posts, and now it's also become its own social media thing.
Nick, look at this top text. Do you know what that means? Okay, so it just says SK. Apparently, they go around going.
Wait,
like
okay,
that.
okay.
So the
Because
crickets.
of Visco.
So what is it?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out. Our phone lines are lighting up, so we'll find out in a minute here.
It's
right. That's what it is.
As far as social status goes, it's a new thing for this school year. It's brand new. But
How is it social status though?
because it's a look. So basically,
it's a look.
If you are a Visco girl, you are you kind of look like you came from the beach. You wear scrunchies around your wrist.
Scrunchies are a big thing.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You carry
on your wrist.
You carry around a hydro flask. And you have a natural look, Kathy. So you don't go heavily made up.
So like Renee Zellweger.
So it's not like a filter that
It is. Yeah. So the Visco app is a filter that you can apply, but it's a lighter filter. So sometimes Instagram models will go very heavy on their filters, right?
Right.
And so you look incredibly made up, and you will take an Instagram app and you'll use that app to change your look essentially on your social media post.
It happens all the time.
Visco girls, Steve, don't do that. They go the opposite route. They go very natural,
completely raw,
very light makeup,
unfiltered.
Yeah, and there are two essential settings on the Visco app that you use for your look. And now it's translated from this app to real life.
Okay.
Wow, man, Preston. So when in school we had Crisco girls, we had a lot of fried chicken.
Yeah. Sure.
Crisco girl.
They would bring fried chicken to school.
Yeah, those are Crisco girls.
Crisco girls.
Yeah. My
Florence Henderson was a Crisco. Westonality.
And Steve, there we go.
That's Crisco girl.
It's them eating the skin off of the chicken. So Caroline, my daughter, was wearing a shirt and it was too long. She's like, I'm tucking this in because I don't want to look like a Visco girl. Not that meaning that she doesn't want to be one, but it looks like you're not wearing pants.
Not wearing pants. Okay,
yeah,
I've seen
you're
this.
not wearing shorts.
I've seen this. I've seen the looking like you're not wearing shorts.
Where did that look? That look has been around before.
No, but I've recently seen it pick up, and I'm like, look at these kids. Like their shorts are so short that they look like they're not wearing any.
My dad was a Visco girl before anyone knew. He just wear a long coat and shorts.
Yeah.
You also might have known them as flashers.
Yeah.
Case, is your daughter into it? Or is she Visco? What do you say? Help me out here, guys.
She's a Delco girl.
She's a Delco girl, Kath. You know what? I don't know.
Is she
I don't
Visco?
know. I don't know how new this scene is, but here's the deal. My kids go to Catholic schools, so they all wear the same thing at school. And then we just got done in the summer, and we were down the beach all the time.
I saw a text that this is supposed to be camera sound.
Oh my God! I love it. I want to be a Visco boy.
I always wore big clothes. There was a period of time where we looked like we were 900 pounds only because we wore oversized
baggy
clothes.
stuff. Yeah. Baggy stuff.
Who decided all this stuff? All these various things together make this. You know what I mean?
A Visco girl.
Yeah.
I think it's just a style. I keep relating it to the hippie. It's just
It
the
is,
hippie
but
like
somebody had to put these pieces together. They don't necessarily, automatically go together.
The thing, Preston, that you're reacting to, and I think I agree, is because like things like this would happen over the course of a little while, and like in school, going to school, you start to see people adopting something, and there'd be a movie, or there'd be something that they would, or a musician or somebody they're responding to. But this seems true for a lot of the people are saying from 0 to 60.
I know.
Because of social media.
It's like the now this isn't a fashion thing, but it was an accessory people had. Remember the fidget spinners?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that took off in 10 minutes.
Boom.
And everybody had them, and then they were gone.
Look at this Visco Girl Starter Pack.
You can buy this
$150
for $150.
Should we get it, guys?
It says Giant Visco Starter Pack.
Preston, we need to be Crisco boys.
Scrunchies, Crocs.
I like those tie-dye Crocs.
What else? There's the shorts, and oversized shirt. What do you see?
No, Kathy liking the Crocs now.
I like the tie-dye
Just
Crocs.
like 10 minutes ago, she's like, not for adults.
Oh, well, no, I wouldn't buy them and wear them.
But Steve, it's funny because you were talking about how these things, how they can happen so quickly. When people are getting back to school this week and they come home demanding the scrunchies, that means that like this thing is taken off and they want to be like all the other people who are in the group.
That's funny.
Some people are texting in, and I've gotten some emails that there is a phrase that goes along, not just the SK one, I oop.
I oop.
I don't know what that means.
There's another one, Nick.
That's
no,
it.
no, that's mine. You can't have that. I oop. But I oop is a
Can
thing.
we make that part of the Crisco boys?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's allowed. But
All right, how's I oop spelled?
I oop is I, the letter I, and then OOP.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Again, it says I oop. Here, there's I oop can be used as a reaction to express sudden surprise or shock over an unexpected situation. That's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
For example, you can say it if someone calls someone else out on social media in a mic drop moment, as in I oop. Okay.
Because it says here, honestly, who says mic drop anymore? That's old now.
That's so old.
Nick, you know that I love you, but I do find it a little creepy that you know the most about this.
Well,
anyone
you
on
look
the
it up
show.
on BuzzFeed. Research. Yeah, no, I stalk 12-year-olds.
Yeah, do you want to hear it?
Interesting. Oh, yeah.
Jasmine
thanks.
Masters, I think.
All right.
I crashed in my back seat for a couple of hours, and
All right, okay.
And that's funny.
And, and hence the beginning of a new phrase.
Wow, bizarre.
Sitting on your balls created a thing.
Where some things come from
and yet
how they take off.
We can't get to take off.
Nobody can pronounce it.
And it's very hard.
We do have joining us on the program later this morning comedian Gary Goldman, who's going to be at the Sellersville Theater in October. And Gary's always a great guest, so we'll chat with him in a little while. And we do have a secret text word today. Your chance to see Tenacious D this weekend. Here comes the music going live on Fox.
Okay, let's get to Preston and Steve. It's coming up on 8 o'clock here. So we found this survey that said, well, do you think you're funnier than your significant other? Like, who's the funniest person in a relationship? And apparently guys like to feel that they're funnier than the woman or their partner.
So funny.
So they agree with fake laughing. Preston, Steve.
That's not fake at all.
So on my level, I am funnier than my wife. However, she's very funny. And she has a good sense of humor, a very evolved. She likes all the sorts of stuff that I love. She is very funny. And she always says, and it's... She will, sometimes I will say things that are completely in jest, but I have a delivery that sometimes, even on the show here, they'll say, it sounds as if I'm deadly serious, and then she'll go on and repeat something that turns out to be dramatically absurd.
Totally.
But she's a great sense of humor. So pound for pound, and that little 110 pounds of body of hers, she packs a lot of comedy.
All right, the standard, although I guess we could ask Kathy this. I always hear women say, what's important in a relationship? Oh, if he or she has a great sense of humor, that's so important. Is that true? Or is
I
that
think
just
it is.
bunk?
Yeah, because if you have somebody that's serious all the time, like, no thanks.
Do you think... Do you think though that because a lot of times they say I'm just looking for a guy who's funny? No. That's not the case. That's a bunch of garbage. However, I agree with Kathy saying. So that's the first thing you think of, Alex, when you're
really.
Boy, I bet you that guy has a great punchline.
You can improve your chances a lot if you can make a woman laugh. Kathy, am I wrong?
Yeah, no, I agree with
you.
Yes.
With the good jokes, the fun time, like you, okay, well, he's not so bad.
As long as you're attractive, too.
Exactly. You improve your chances of being that woman's friend. That's what happens.
Oh, my God.
That's so true.
Are you saying you can't
You're
be
hideous.
attractive and funny?
Oh, those Borscht Belt jokes were a real panty dropper.
Let me say this, and Kathy, tell me if I'm wrong, but a lot of really really hot men don't have a personality. So it's like it only goes so far.
Yeah, I think
right, Kathy?
And I think you guys are completely wrong. I think listen, if somebody's good looking and they're funny, great, it's a bonus. But I think Alex is right. Is you're not going to pass over somebody because they might not be exactly how you thought someone you were dating would look. If they're funny and they're fun to be around, absolutely.
Yes, they can become more attractive to you.
Yeah.
Preston, it's like
absolutely.
the supermodels who say, I was a tomboy when I was growing up. Stop it!
Oh, yes.
They were hot tomboys.
Yes.
Yeah. All
But
right.
listen, the bottom line is if a relationship's not going to last if you're not making each other laugh. I mean, that's all there is to it. It doesn't matter who is funnier, but you've got to be able to entertain each other. That's a huge
Right,
part.
because how do you think Mike gets? I mean, he's been successful.
What
in
is
the
that
town.
supposed to mean?
Certainly it couldn't be his looks.
Mike gets anybody. Oh, my God.
You are a great time, and women are always like, "Oh, you're so funny. We love to be around." I think it's part of your charm.
Thank God you got that going for you, Mike.
We've gotten that same.
Basically what she's saying.
Yeah, that's a backhanded compliment. Yeah.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I'm just saying it's a cherry on
That
top.
you've been able to overcome your elephant man-like demeanor with your lively sense of humor.
I am not an animal.
Oh man.
All right, guys. See you later.
All right, see you later, guys. All right.
Trying to bury yourself out for that.
With that, we have to get a look at traffic, so let's get into that now. Kathy, what is going on?
On the Schuylkill Expressway, eastbound, we're slow 202 into Belmont. It's heavy the Boulevard to the Vine. Westbound, Passyunk to South Street, the Boulevard to Gladwin. 95 southbound, Jams Academy. Through to Bridge on the Vine. Westbound, you're jamming the length. 95 to the Schuylkill Expressway. We've got a few things happening in New Jersey. 295 northbound, slowing from 30 to Haddonfield. Route 130 to the 42 freeway. And then on 42 north, your Jams College Drive to 295. 55 northbound, heavy 47 to 42. And then over the Ben Franklin Bridge, westbound, you're jamming the Toll Plaza to 8th and Vine. This traffic report brought to you by Acme. Shop Acme and earn 4 times reward points on gas and groceries with your Acme For You app. See store for details. And that's your traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
All right, real quick. I think there's a couple shout outs I want to do before we move into the beat file. I got this email. Says, hey, good morning, Preston. Can you send a shout out to my big brother, Dave Pope, for his birthday? His birthday is September 7th. That's today. But since we both podcast and as well as listen live anytime next week at work, my brother's a worldly known good guy. He's a veteran, a teacher, a dad, a brother, son, and partner. My brother, sister, and I have bonded over your show, and it's really helped us bringing us together while dealing with our elderly parents and just life in general. You have no idea how much we love you guys. In the words of Dr. Mike, love ya. P.S. Please tell Casey hi for me. He doesn't know me, but in my head, we are like BFFs.
Nice. Hey, buddy.
No, it's sincerely from Amy Beaver. That's her name.
Beaver, that works.
Amy Beaver, #1 fan in in Chalfont, by the way. So here's a shout out for her brother Dave Pope. Here's another one that says, hey, I've been listening to your show since PMS days. Podcast you every night while I'm at work, and I wanted to give a shout out to my beautiful fiance Nicole. She's a New Jersey native and moved to Lancaster last year, and I was living near Hershey when we met through Facebook. We're celebrating our first anniversary on September 7th, though I know it's a bit short notice and may not get read until after that. She's a great partner to me and mom to her daughter, Emily, who's currently attending grad school at Thomas Jefferson. And she's been a great bonus mom to my son, Silas, who will be 12 in October. Love her more than pizza and ranch dressing. And looking forward to the future. Hope to see you at the Cardboard Classic. Thanks, you guys. Keep sucking on a chili dog and have a nice flight. That is from Tim Hinkle. So there's your shout out, Tim. And wanted to throw some love. I got an email just to remind people that the Camp Out for Hunger will be here before you know it.
Oh, yes.
And the Aston Township Fire Department in Delco has started their food drive. So we don't go, plugging other people's food drives. But that's up to you to do the legwork and bring that to us, and we appreciate it and everything.
God, yes.
But I just wanted to mention these guys and remind people that these are starting now.
Yeah.
And it's a good idea to go ahead and get on that if you do have plans to participate in the Camp Out for Hunger. So thank you to Sean who reached out, Sean Joyce from the Aston Township Fire Department. They're doing the Fill the Truck, a fight against hunger. So it's really cool, man.
And we're coming back full blown. This is a real deal camp out this year.
Yep, I mean, with all the bells and
All
whistles.
the trimmings.
You know, we're working on, some of those night events that we had done, house bands and all that stuff. I had a question for you guys about fire departments, Preston, Steve, because you guys both have pools. My neighbor, by the way, just got a swim spa. I'm so happy for him.
Dude,
I'm so happy
my heart aches for you. You should have one of those.
Oh, I was like, hey, Mike, by the way, I'm going to be there. I'm not knocking up on your door. You're just going to look out your window and you're going to see some fat dude swimming in your pool, just so you know. So anyway, I had heard that you can make a donation to your fire department and they will come out and fill your pool for you. Have you guys ever heard that?
I have.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have a pool, but I've heard that same thing. Yeah.
All right.
And
With fire?
Not with fire.
No, with water.
They use water.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm sure, Preston, the same thing was with you. A company came out and filled it up. Didn't even know about the fire truck thing.
No, I didn't know about the fire truck.
I thought they would use that for putting out fires.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have reserves in their in the actual truck itself. So I just wasn't sure if you guys had heard that.
No, I had not.
All right.
So maybe that's an option.
All right, cool.
Do not know. All right, we need to do the Bizarre File.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, Kathy had this story in the news, but I'm going to reiterate this in the Bizarre File. But an American tourist, possibly from Pennsylvania, that's what I'd heard on the news, was killed by a shark attack in the Bahamas. The woman whose name is not released was snorkeling with a group of 5 to 7 relatives when she was attacked by a bull shark. The area is about a half mile northwest of Rose Island, a private island off the coast of Nassau. The woman, who officials said was 58, had no vital signs after the attack. She arrived in the Bahamas via a cruise ship on Tuesday morning, and a private tour boat took her to group snorkeling off of Rose Island, and family members actually saw the attack happen.
It's just horrible.
Along with the tour operator, they pulled her from the water, took her by boat to Fort Montague on Nassau, and the area of the attack was cordoned off and closed indefinitely to snorkelers. She didn't make it. Horrible.
So I'm not that familiar with this, but I am, kind of interested in shark attacks around the world and the data relating to that. I don't consider that area an active attack area.
They said it was. There was somebody, a 21-year-old, who was killed in that same area.
In 2018.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean, overall, you always think you don't hear a lot of stories coming out of the Caribbean in that area that. Right? Or am I crazy? Am I just blocking it out?
Bull sharks, one of the most common when it comes to unprovoked attacks on humans. They're large, capable of inflicting serious injuries, commonly found in areas where humans enter the water, and have teeth designed to shear rather than hold. So it's just the worst of all right there. A chimpanzee that escaped from a Ukrainian zoo was returned to the facility on a zookeeper's bike.
Did you see this?
Yeah, I did.
Great.
Officials at Kharkiv Zoo said the chimpanzee named Chi-Chi had escaped from the facility Monday and wandered nearby streets to a local park. Zookeepers followed the primate, and Chi-Chi approached one of the workers when it started to rain. The zookeeper put a yellow raincoat on the chimp and wheeled her back to the zoo on the seat of a bicycle.
Could you do me a favor and play Fleetwood Mac?
Yes. The chimp's bike ride was caught on camera by witnesses, and the method of Chi-Chi's escape was unclear. Chi-Chi.
Yes, thank you very much. Famous American band, though, there.
Evacuated. Wow. But they got this one back safe and sound. Here's another animal story. Southern California has been plagued with tiny, aggressive sea bugs that eat human feet.
Oh.
And now,
I hate sea bugs that eat human feet.
And now scientists finally identified the hungry culprit that has left many beachgoers in pain. Scientists identify the bugs as waterline isopods, officially known as Excrocolona chiltoni, nicknamed mini sharks. These tiny crustaceans can grow to about 0.3 inches long and can form swarms of more than 1,000 bugs.
Do we have them in this area?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
The isopods tend to live in the shallow waters of the Pacific Ocean.
Okay, and this is the Atlantic here, right?
Yes, it is. They seasonally migrate up and down the coast in search of food. Now, the mini shark tends to go after human feet, biting into flesh and sucking blood. Like the animal itself, it bites. The bites tend to be small.
We're going to need a smaller boat.
Perfect.
That's perfect.
That's a Jaws joke.
We're going to need a smaller boat.
I get it.
However, individuals bitten by the crustacean can experience sharp pain. People attacked by the isopods describe the bite as being painful and surprising, noting how the bugs look like a group of tiny piranhas.
Are you serious?
Had attacked their feet and ankles. Those attacked noted that the pain faded after 15 to 20 minutes. Now, listen to what the experts recommend you do.
Oh, boy. All right. Okay.
The experts recommend that beachgoers rapidly shuffle their feet to reduce the number of bites, although beachgoers are still likely to be bitten. So just keep shuffling.
So
your
do the
feet,
Charleston, right?
And that'll keep the biting to the minimum while you're in the ocean. Wow.
Man, I hate you go to the beach and you get bit by things. And what is that? You know, I hate that.
All right, here's one of these stories. These are always messed up stories. A toddler was declared dead by doctors, but relatives at her funeral later realized she was, in fact, alive. Camila Roxana Martinez Mendoza, who was 3 years old, was taken to the hospital in the central Mexican state of San Luis Potosi to be treated for dehydration. She was released from the hospital, but soon became unwell again. Her parents took her back to the hospital, where her family claimed the doctors were negligent. The family, in a lawsuit, said the hospital staff was slow to give Mendoza an IV drip and oxygen. It later declared the child was dead. The mother said she was still hugging me, and they took her away and told me, you have to let her rest in peace.
Oh, my God.
And so at her funeral, the mother noticed condensation on her daughter's glass casket. When she told mourners that her daughter was still breathing, she was told that grief was causing her to hallucinate. Mendoza's grandmother then noticed that the 3-year-old's eyes were moving. She had a heart rate of 97 beats per minute. The toddler was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance, in which reports say her heart rate was rapidly dropped. She was later declared dead for a second time. Probably could have saved this kid.
Dear God, that's just...
The first cause of death was listed as dehydration. The second was cerebral edema, which is brain swelling. So that's messed up. All right, we can't end on that one. So let's go with something a little bit lighter. All right, yeah. This is in Tennessee. A man was arrested after a woman told police he was pleasuring himself outside her window while charging his phone in an outdoor outlet at her house.
Yeah.
So he's,
So I was charging my phone. I thought I'd smack it around a bit.
Police responded to a home at approximately 11:25 a.m.
Are you going to get the new iPhone?
Once on the scene, officers said they saw Enrico Cor laying on the ground with his pants down. The homeowner told police
Hi, how are you?
that Cor was outside of her house, pleasuring himself in full view from a bedroom window. He was also accused of charging his phone in an outlet during the same time.
Adding insult to injury.
Yeah.
Perverts that steal your electricity.
Cor was arrested and charged with public indecency after that. All right, and there you go. That is what I have in the bizarre file. I would like to give this away right now. Mr. Kevin Smith has got an event tonight. It is the Clerks 3 Convenience Tour. Wow. It's at the Keswick Theater tonight. You'll see the movie, and then Kevin does a Q&A afterwards.
And you know he talks up a storm. He's so fan-friendly.
So we'll take caller number 20, and we'll give you those tickets. 215-263-WMMR. And keep in mind, Kevin's stopping by here tomorrow morning.
Love
it. It's really cool. So let's give that to you now. 215-263-WMMR. Caller 20. We'll be back in a moment.
Preston and Steve.
On 93.3 WMMR.
It's like going and looking at your X-rays. Yeah. I have some bad news. You're a Visco girl.
What would would be some positive workplace habits. It doesn't give any examples here at all. So I'm wondering what we could do. Maybe some yoga or something like that.
Well, let's assess.
Maybe like clean up your area.
Are you talking to me?
No, I was just saying that's like a positive workplace.
I just
moved
knew.
all my stuff in there. It's a mess.
This morning, Kathy goes to me. She goes, "Oh, your area looks really nice, Steve." And Preston goes, "Oh, what about mine?"
Mine's just an absolute. It looks like an atom bomb went
It
off.
actually looks worse than the old office.
I haven't done anything. I just dragged all my crap in here.
Listen, I was
and
not
set
talking to you.
And
I was just saying in
Steve,
general.
your area looks very nice.
That's pretty mean.
Steve came in over the weekend and worked on his.
I did. Whereas Preston just poured it his
I
over.
just brought my
Didn't have
stuff over
chance.
and left it. I'm going to work on it today.
I was just complimenting Steve because the shelving in the new office was made specifically for his guys.
Yes, my
it
Batman.
It looks so nice. I wasn't saying it.
Kathy did it in the way where you're talking to one person, but your mouth is actually towards someone else who you want to make sure they hear that particular statement.
Your part of the office looks much better. The cleanly, orderly way you've approached your workspace is impressive.
I swear, I was not saying it because yours was messy.
It did feel good to purge, like
Oh my God, I
getting
love
rid of a
it.
lot of stuff. And I found files from like 2008, 2009 when we moved into that office.
I found that puppy I never gave Marissa.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Listen, to make me realize how long we've been in that office, I've had some stuff hanging in my area on the wall space there, notes that my sons wrote to me.
Oh, yeah.
In little kid
That's
handwriting
cute.
of Daddy, I love you. I hope you have a nice day. I mean, that's how long we've been in that room. We've been in that room for 15 years.
And it does mean a lot because we started when we came here. First off, so that was not initially our first.
I guess
office
it hasn't been 15 years.
Yeah.
It's been at least a dozen years,
Right.
though, but
because we were in it was Kathy, you, and I were in that small office that used to be a closet. Yeah.
So here's another thing that you can do to help get past the post-holiday vacation back to work blues. Don't dwell.
Okay.
Don't dwell.
Yeah. Don't feel sorry.
Lou, I couldn't help but noticing that you're dwelling. Is it that obvious?
Doesn't dwell mean to just live, just to, just to
sort of
stay in one
ruminate,
place?
yeah.
Hanging out.
Don't dwell. Don't feel sorry for yourself, it says. Start some new office habits. This is how to beat the post-holiday...
Should you clean your office area?
The post-holiday vacation back to work blues. Clean your damn office. All right, how about this one? This is just this. Here you go. This is all it says you need to do. Reflect.
Wait, that's too close to dwelling.
Seriously.
Where's the delineation
That's
between
right.
reflecting and dwelling?
You're not supposed to dwell. However, you should reflect.
God damn it, Earl, I was reflecting.
Looked like you were dwelling.
Well, I wasn't. You nosy ass.
So it says here.
Gentlemen, what? Well, he's always saying I'm dwelling. I was clearly reflecting. My head was up with my chin cocked a little bit to the left. That's reflecting.
That's reflecting.
Dwelling is hands on the temples down.
Yes, chin down. That would be
You
dwelling.
idiot.
Yeah. Lily Allen and Stranger Things star David Harbour dating.
This is way better.
I had to look up Lily Allen, and I still don't
singer?
know who she is. Is she a singer?
I believe so, right?
I think
don't know.
she's
A dancer.
Oh, no.
No, she was a dancer.
She's a dancer.
Oh my God!
Stop.
Oh, I like her.
Oh, her brother's Alfie Allen from Game of Thrones.
And Lily Allen is from a while. She had career was on fire about 8 years ago, 9 years ago.
Her brother is Theon Greyjoy.
Yes.
From Game of Thrones, and she's a singer. No,
she was a dancer.
Jinx, oh my God! Honestly, is she a singer?
She's a singer.
All right.
Her brother is Marcus Allen.
Honestly.
And Preston, is she a singer?
Yeah, she's a singer.
I'm not doing it.
Why not? No, she was a dancer.
Jinx, oh my God!
Stop. Gets worse.
Okay, I thought she was an actress.
No, she's a singer.
No,
she was a dancer.
Jinx, oh my God!
Okay.
She said she had a couple of hits. She was at, yes. What are some of her hits? We all know her hits.
Well, the girl that we're looking
birthday.
the girl that we have up in this photo, I think, is the actress that I looked up on IMDb.
No,
this
that's
morning.
the singer.
No, she was a dancer.
No, she was a dancer.
Jinx,
oh my God!
Lily Allen, for Christ's sake, she's a musician, right?
Okay.
Are we looking up two different people?
There are a ton of acting credits for
No, those are soundtrack.
someone named Lily Allen. Those are soundtrack. Oh.
Those are not acting credits.
Okay. We all
She was an
clear?
actor?
Are we clear? No. She's a singer.
She has a song called "F.U."
Okay. Yes, I know that one. All right.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyhow, they might be dating, her and David Harbour.
Lily legs, Lily.
Londoners have spotted the two out, hanging out, and of course, post about it on social media. Somebody wrote, David Harbour, when on earth did this happen? And it was alongside a screenshot of her, of her TV screen showing the couple at a boxing event.
Huh, good for him.
They first sparked rumors earlier this month when they were spotted taking in a West End performance of the Lehman trilogy.
Are we good enough friends with him now to just blow a call in?
Of course we are.
Yeah.
What time is it in London?
We did have a really good time with him.
Yeah.
It's like noon.
Super nice guy. Yeah, it's
So he's probably up.
Yeah, we give him a call.
Hello?
Yeah, David.
Yeah, David, it's Preston and Steve. Are you dating Lily Allen?
Yeah.
She's a singer, right?
No, she was a dancer.
Jinx, oh my God!
What are Casey and Kathy doing on this call?
We just had to do that. We had to do that because this is funny.
Okay, bye.
Okay, Woody Allen, maybe persona non grata in Hollywood, but Scarlett Johansson would work with him anytime. The A-lister is one of the few stars to publicly signal her support for the director.
He was the original choice for Captain America.
I did not realize that he would actually.
I don't think the serum worked.
Yeah.
I don't feel very super.
He was the original.
Yeah. Imagine that. The thing opens up. Have I changed dramatically? He comes out worse.
Yeah. They go the opposite direction.
He got older.
He's aged. His eyesight has gone bad. He's wearing glasses. Now his hair's falling
Ready
out.
to take on the Nazis.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan, personally, of their conduct.
Several stars.
They reach over. He just looks over. Stark's father reaches over and had the lever all the way to the wrong side. I'm sorry. I had it on skinnier. I should have pushed it to muscular.
Several stars, including Frida Pinto, Greta Gerwig, Colin Firth, and Mira Sorvino, expressed regret at working with him previously and pledged to never work with him again. But when the Hollywood Reporter asked Johansson, who worked with him on Match Point, Vicky Cristina Barcelona, and Scoop, she had nothing but good things to say about the 83-year-old, whose daughter, of course, accused him of sexual assault. He's denied all this stuff, but she said, how do I feel about Woody Allen? I love Woody, she told the Hollywood Reporter. I believe him, and I would work with him anytime. She said, I see Woody whenever I can, and I have had a lot of conversations with him about it. I have been very direct with him, and he's been very direct with me. He maintains his innocence, and I believe him.
Well, that's her prerogative to take it that way, and that's okay.
She said, but she also understands why others don't. She said it's hard because it's a time where people are very fired up, and understandably, things needed to be stirred up, and so people have a lot of passion, a lot of strong feelings, and are angry, and rightfully so. It's an intense time.
What a missed opportunity that they could have worked in the Avengers films together. It would have been so great.
I ran into somebody who works in our office, and I'd asked her what she did the night before. Maybe it was over the weekend. She's like, yeah, well, I went to an I Do barbecue, and blah, blah, blah. This is kind of scattered over there. I'm like, hang on a second. What's an I Do barbecue? You guys ever heard of that before?
No, but I haven't.
Like an engagement party?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to vomit.
But only for people in the wedding party.
Right. Okay.
So
It's kind of where they do they ask them to be in the wedding party? Like that's part of the event.
I'm not really sure.
So I've been to like where they invite the bridal party over, and that's you're at a party, and they ask you to be in the bridal party. So
is that what that is?
You're going to a party, and you don't actually know yet until you get
to the party,
Right.
and then they say, by the way, you're all going to be in.
or they ask you. Yeah.
Okay.
So do attendees they don't know until some point in the evening when
I think for my brothers, I knew I was going to be in my brother's wedding, but
Right.
yes, and then they gave us a bottle of wine, and on the wine she had put in like a cute little saying asking us to be, it was a custom made wine label, and then it was a cute saying asking us to be in the wedding.
I would attend I'd prefer not barbecue.
I actually never liked the idea of an engagement party, and so you can put a cute little name on it, right, and make things rhyme, and I'm not going to like it or dislike it any more or any less.
Well, that's what they do, though. Yeah, that's what whoever they are.
There must be some counselor, commissioner, somebody who puts together like. With the gender reveal stuff now, that went from 0 to 60.
Now, I'm wondering where this started because there's an article on the knot.com, right, which is a wedding magazine and a wedding website. And so do you think that they wrote the article thinking that this might be a thing, or did they write the article because it already was a thing?
I think probably they can help boost it by reporting on it. Right. All the not readers. But I don't know. Usually, something has to have a little bit of traction before you report on it, right?
So yeah, I would think so. But so you have an engagement party, okay?
Okay.
You have, I guess now, an I do barbecue. You have to have a rehearsal dinner.
The rehearsal dinner is to me, isn't that that's the wedding party gathering?
That's
right?
what I always thought it was.
Well, but not anymore, because now if you have out of town guests, if you're going by their rules, you have to invite the out of town guests to the rehearsal dinner.
Right.
So, but out of town guests who are in the wedding party aren't expected to attend the I do barbecue.
I think the I do barbecue is taking over the engagement party. I don't think you're having an I do barbecue and you're having an engagement party. I think it's sort of one or the other.
Really?
Yeah.
So, but you would only invite.
An I do barbecue is an engagement party.
Yeah, but you're only inviting the people that will be in your wedding party.
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't know if that's the case. I'm just saying that is also, I've been to parties where they only invite the bridal party.
Because let's say you have a big engagement party or your I do barbecue, but you're only inviting some of the people that are there.
Invite people can be in the direct wedding party.
But let's say you have like 50 people there, but you're only inviting like 7 of them to be in your wedding party. That's kind of insulting to the other people that show up.
Not really. It's like saying you have to put every single friend in your bridal party. I think you know who's.
But if you're at a party and you're not part of the list there.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I'll just be waiting over here.
Yeah.
Enjoy your being
G,
celebrated.
and previous Jersey girl in Maryland, and Nick said, I hope you're living your best life in Maryland, and she just wrote back, meh. Well, thank you. We appreciate it.
What was she listening to?
Us.
Oh!
Yeah.
That was.
By the way,
nice.
Casey, follow up. You were curious if fire companies would fill your swimming pool. Overwhelmingly, text coming in saying, no, they do not do that.
No.
They used to do that.
Okay.
And they don't do that anymore because they might need that water should a fire pop up and,
Because it's kind of what you use.
It's kind of important. So anyhow, that was just kind of a follow-up on that. Real quick, a reminder, Casey's Big Adventure coming up on the 19th. We made the announcement yesterday that one Mr. Jackie Bam Bam will be joining him for the trip.
So basically, you're Neil Armstrong, he's Buzz Aldrin.
That's exactly right.
And he'll be joined, they will be joined by Kyle McCarty, Wide Angle Kyle. He'll be filming it all.
Wide Angle Kyle.
That's Kyle singing there, by the way. And our friends at Subaru have lent us an Ascent that the guys are going to be driving, and they'll be staying at Marriott hotels around the country on the way. And what's the latest? What did Jackie tell you?
Well, I plan on getting phone calls from Jackie either every night or every morning. Last night he called me around 10 o'clock. I did not answer. And then so he called me this morning on my way into work, and we talked for a while. So he wanted to know if I was bringing a passport with me.
A passport?
You know.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you're staying within the United States.
Well, we are going to New Mexico, Steve.
New Mexico.
He didn't say that.
No. But I told him I was not. And they said, okay, well, I wanted to make sure that, like, if you had yours, that I had mine. It's like, okay.
We need to see your papers, please.
And then
you say on radio.
Yeah.
He also wants to take the first leg of driving, right? So he wants to drive the first, he said 10 hours. So when we leave here, he wants to drive. He's like, I'm a good driver. And so
I wonder what kind of driver he is.
You know, that's something that I was thinking.
We didn't even think of that.
I know. Maybe he's good because he never wears binding underwear.
Yeah.
So his leg mobility is really good.
Now, Casey, are you packing any women's clothes?
I guess I have to.
I mean, at least for one day.
Right, one day.
Yeah.
I will.
Do a dress like Jackie Day.
Where does he shop? Deb, Mandy?
What's
21
the
for
other one?
Epic.
Yeah. No.
Hot Topic.
It's a specific
Yes,
women's.
wait, and I know it.
really?
I can't think of the name
H&M?
of it. No. It's an
It's
old. You
women's
wouldn't even
only.
know it.
Okay.
Is it Deb? Is Deb even open anymore?
It's not Deb. It used to be at the Roosevelt Mall. I used to drive from high school. We would pack the car, my friend's car, and all the girls would go to this store and we would shop. And I cannot think of the damn name of it.
What shopping center is it in?
It was in at the Roosevelt Mall along the Boulevard.
Okay.
The Boulevard.
Yeah.
And that's because I remember having this conversation with Jackie that's where he shops.
Yeah,
That's
and
adorable.
He also the other thing he told me was that when we're listening to the radio, when we leave this listening area, when we have the radio on, the second the DJ starts talking, you have to shut up. He's like, that was always the rule growing up when he was a kid and he'd be in the car with his dad. The second the DJ started talking, everybody stopped talking and listened to what the DJ has to say.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I
pretty
think
brutal.
it's Joyce Leslie.
Joyce Leslie? Never heard of that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's
Joyce Leslie Designs.
And that's where he gets all his Jackie Bam Bamness. Wow.
I'm so excited for
Closing
this.
at 2 o'clock today, Joyce Leslie, because Jackie's coming by for a special show.
The 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. phone calls I'm not looking forward to for the next 2 weeks, but the drive itself,
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
He is such a great, fun guy.
Kathy, does this make any sense to you? I texted him, where do you shop for your clothes? And he wrote back, LOL, question mark, question mark, question mark. Low dollar girl shops like Rainbow? LOL, ask Romano.
I think. Well, so yeah, the low price ones. That would Joyce Leslie would be one of them.
And is Rainbow one as well?
I don't know Rainbow.
Somebody texted in and says Rainbow Shop, question mark.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
And that was before you read that, Nick.
All
So
right. So,
that
yeah.
must be it.
Rainbow is one of them. So, Casey, you got to do a little shopping spree.
Do we have a rainbow connection?
Oh. I do actually have women's pants. If you remember, I bought them at I bought them at CVS.
Where did
That's
you
right.
Remember?
Oh, yeah. We found out you could buy clothes at CVS.
Yeah, I bought women's legging corduroys to see, and I wore them to see how long it would take for you guys to notice.
Corduroys?
Jackass?
Jackass? Corduroys?
Corduroys? Yeah, corduroys.
Okay.
Cords.
I
Yeah,
put
you
the emphasis on the different
Oh,
syllables.
Royce. Yeah. You normally do that?
I don't know.
Corduroy?
Corduroys.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I shot the clerk.
anyhow, this starts on the 19th, and
Yeah, it does.
we're looking forward to it. All right. In the meantime, I think we should.
Are you the OG?
No, not the OG. No, we're going to open up the store, man.
Oh,
I think so. I think we need to go shopping today. So I got
Time to head down to the general store, the largest store you're ever gonna see in your entire goddamn life.
And sometimes it's like reporting on things like. Did you guys see the guy that climbed the top of the Ben Franklin Bridge? over the weekend?
Yes. Yeah.
What the hell was that all
It's
about?
on Sunday.
Yeah.
And so he walked up the suspension, I don't know what you call those things.
I love it, man.
The big cables, I guess.
So he did it supervised.
No.
Oh, no?
No. It was like 6 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. Look, Nick's got pictures of him here, Kathy. That's him at the top of the tower, which is like, I want to say it's like 380 feet high or something ridiculous like that.
And he wasn't tethered, right? Like he didn't take any.
He didn't even have a
precautions?
shirt on, dude.
Well, why?
Oh, you want to catch some rays?
Yeah, I guess so. And I saw a quick blurb about it. I didn't get to read the whole story, but apparently it looked like he was, he may have been scattering ashes.
That's what I heard.
Oh.
Now they have those cables along the cable that assist you in the ascent.
Yep.
But yeah, is there a way internally? There can't be. There's no structure that would support going up.
What, take an elevator up?
or
type of thing?
stairs within? It doesn't
Yeah,
look like.
didn't-
I don't know.
Croce did it.
Yeah, Pat Croce did it.
But he did it on the Wall Women.
He rappelled down.
No. He did it for the Sixers when they were in the finals.
Yeah, I remember. I thought he rappelled down it.
I don't think so.
Or did he climb up
He
it?
climbed
Up it, but that was completely supervised. And, it was for the cameras and everything like that. Then he went up there with a banner saying "Go Sixers."
Okay.
Steve, my dad climbed the George Washington Bridge and did a handstand at the top.
Oh my God, that doesn't surprise me.
Illegally?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Who was he banging at the time?
Wow.
I don't know.
Jimi Hendrix.
So yeah, I don't think they've found out who this guy was.
Oh, get out! He just went up and got away with it.
Yeah, I'm reading the story. Police don't have any related information. And a person who, let's see, they called the police.
So which police investigate? Jersey or
Delaware River Port Authority. So yeah, interesting. So I guess the dude was going up there to maybe honor the wishes of someone, which is pretty cool if that's the case, if that's what was happening. And there's a picture of the guy climbing back down, I guess, to get up to that cable where they have the wires where you can walk up. You still have to climb somewhere to get up onto that part initially, and that looks like it's at least 15 feet high, 20 feet high to get up to that.
It doesn't just start at street level. You have to get up to that point to do it.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, like if you go to one of the big things to do in Sydney, Australia, is to do the bridge that way, but it's designed for tourists.
Yeah,
a friend
of mine did it. He said it was really cool and scary.
Yeah.
It doesn't look that high when you're looking up there, but when you get up there, it's like, oh my God. And apparently, let me see here, some stats. This is from BillyPenn.com. Ben Franklin Bridge is about 1.5 miles long. It sits about 135 feet above the Delaware River. About 38 million vehicles cross over an average year. And they had indicated that in 2017, 2 people were arrested at the top of the Ben Franklin Bridge after a stunt that shut down the traffic. Crews closed the roadway after reports of 2 men dressed in black and carrying backpacks.
This guy was arrested, too.
There were photographers who make a hobby of capturing pics from high-rise angles. So they got this guy?
Yeah, identified the climber as a male, and then he was taken into custody with no injuries.
Okay.
Is this bridge named after anyone in particular?
Ben Franklin.
Oh.
Yes, that's the one. He was a dude.
He was the president.
Yeah, no. There are a lot of people who do believe he was. It was I thought that was very interesting, though, and the fact that he got arrested, I was not aware of that. Which you can't be doing that.
No,
people die doing
because
that.
also people end up having to rescue you. Then their lives are at harm. But that's one of the classic things. It's that movie that just came out. Is it called Height? Or where the
antenna.
Basically, these girls climb what would be like the Roxborough antenna, and they get stuck up there, and
they're
in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, they can't reach out to people to help them, so that's crazy. All right, let me see what else. We'll go to let's go to the art section of the store.
It's an incredible section. It's where they have the Mona Lisa.
I love this story, and I had no idea that this guy was from Kutztown, Pennsylvania. A painting on the wall of a home in Kutztown is expected to sell for as much as $50,000 because of who created it. The small gem was left behind by artist Keith Haring on the wall of his childhood bedroom.
Wow.
That's
you guys know that
amazing.
Haring was from
no clue.
Kutztown.
Who's Keith Haring? Sorry, guys.
Here, Nick will pull up a Haring. You recognize
He invented the fish.
his artwork. That's actually it, Nick. That's the one. Have you ever seen those pieces of art? So that was Keith Haring. I used to have a few prints hanging up in my apartment when I was younger. I just thought it was really cool, unique work. So Scott and Angela Garner have lived in the home on White Oak Street since 2004. Scott Garner said, when we saw it, we were pretty shocked and excited. The Garners were more than excited to learn that the rooms had contained a rare and iconic image. Haring left behind a piece special to him, an outline of a piece called Radiant Baby, representing innocence, purity, and goodness. And it was likely painted during a visit to the home sometime before his death in 1990. He died at 31 years old to an AIDS-related illness.
Wow.
And Angela said it was done in gold paint and a gold paint pen, and it was right above the light switch. And the Garners knew they had something special on their hands, and it was something the world would want to see. So she said, we always kept this under glass because we just wanted to keep it protected, knowing that one day we would possibly have it removed from the home to share it with others. They said they wanted to enjoy the hidden gem for themselves, but not forever. The thought was, she said, 18 years ago. That's how long it's been on their wall.
It's amazing.
And they haven't done anything with it.
Yeah.
She said we would enjoy it for quite a long while. And then potentially, when our son became college age, we would take it to auction. So Radiant Baby is ready for the spotlight. It was removed from the home and will go to auction online first ahead of a live auction on September 14th.
It's pretty wild. We don't talk about it a lot, but Monet painted our garage door.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, that's
It's just
nice.
it's white, but it's still
It's a Monet.
It's a Monet.
Yeah.
So Keith Haring was born.
Johnny Monet.
Keith Haring was born in Reading.
How about that?
And I guess he grew up in Kutztown.
Where did he go to high school?
That is a good question. Don't really know. But yeah, he was. I think he started. He was a New York guy eventually.
I believe. Yeah,
And
that's where he ended up.
He
Yeah.
started doing like not vandalism. What's the word I'm looking for?
Street art. Yeah.
Street art. What's that?
Graffiti?
Yeah, I thought.
Tagging.
Not 100% sure. But the piece will be sold with a letter of authenticity issued by Alan Herring, Keith's father, along with a cubbyhole unit built by Alan Herring for his 4 children, and 2 posters from various exhibitions. The starting bid's about $20,000. So pretty cool.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
It's always like the stories you hear when someone has like a garage sale and they'll buy a painting for, it's like a starving artist sale and it turns out to be a Van Gogh.
Right. Before we go to another portion of the, wait, what does this say, Nick?
You were right about the graffiti.
Okay. Yeah, he did a graffiti art in subways and creating...
The restaurants or the mass transit?
Yeah, it was mainly just in the sub shops. Yeah. But he created white chalk drawings on black unused advertisement blackboards in the stations and took off from there. Real quick, going back to the Ben Franklin Bridge for a second. Dave wants to chime in on something. Hey, Dave, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. What's up, Dave?
So I used to climb them towers and them bridges to change the light bulbs on top.
Oh, my God. You were one of those?
I love it. It was great. I'm too old for that crap now.
Wow. When were you doing this, Dave? How long did you do it for?
I did it in my 20s for about 7-8 years in a sign company.
Wow.
It was pretty cool, actually. It was a lot of fun. I would take a backpack. I'd bring lunch with me, sit up there after you climb up.
How much room is up there?
Not much. It's like a 3-foot by 3-foot triangular shaped ladder on some of the towers. It depends which one they're. They're all built different.
And really, you probably don't have much. If you're climbing a tower, there's not much in the way of safety harnesses and things like that, right?
You get clips. You got like clips you could use, but back in the 80s, we just free climbed them.
You just free climbed them. So that which is wild. So
OSHA won't let you do that now. What you get 2 ropes about 3 feet long, and I almost use them as hands. As you reach up, you grab with your clip and clip it on, and you reach up, you grab with your next clip and you unclip and clip and go.
Okay.
What were the wind restrictions and things like that? I mean, if it was like 20 miles an hour, would they let you go up? What was the protocol?
It was like climber's call is usually what we called it. We check the weather, but they schedule them like to be changed every 6 months just so they always stay lit.
So up in New York, the legend was, and it's the truth, that on high-rise buildings and bridge maintenance, a lot of the people who did that work were Mohawk Indians because they were known to not have, in general, a fear of heights. Were you always? Have you ever had a fear of heights at all?
No, not really.
Yeah.
After 30 feet, you're dead anyway, so it doesn't make sense.
Oh, my God.
That's how you
crazy,
stay.
Dave. Wow. All right. Interesting work. Thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
Wow.
One more thing there. I used to be a graffiti writer. That's how I got started in the sign business.
Oh, wow.
Oh, get out. That's funny.
So that all ties in.
Hang on. Let's see if you did the next story.
Yeah.
One more thing. Preston, I still have your sign. This is Martino.
Oh, dude. Yeah. I was talking about that the other day. How things coming along with that?
Not too good. I can't find the ruby red 8mm glass anywhere. Unfortunately, it is made.
Is this the neon?
It's a Coca-Cola neon sign, and Dave said he would help me out with it. And he's like, now it's going to take a while because these things, the replacement parts are really hard to find.
Sure, it's a
And that
classic Coke sign.
It was already like 6 months ago. So
here's your update.
Unfortunately, it gets made in the Ukraine, and that's placed.
Oh my God, you're
blown
screwed.
to smithereens.
Oh man.
So we're looking for ruby. I have a girl who works in my office, and she once a week I'm like, yo, you gotta look for that ruby red. You gotta look for that ruby red. We've been calling sign companies all around the country, neon plants. We actually got to the point where we're like, we should just call Preston and make him something else.
Yeah, you know what? I'm open to that. If it's too much of a pain, just I'll get it back from you, Dave.
Yeah, we'd like to do it for you. It's just it's unavailable. It's a rare glass to begin with, and now it's ultra rare.
By the way, Dave is the guy who took the tower sign down from the Tower Theater.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah.
I climbed that one too.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, so this is what he does.
It's a wild life, man.
Yeah. All right, Dave.
And now you work for Preston.
I'll see you later, man. Take it easy. Wow. Okay.
Crazy.
All right, we're gonna go to the
What is up, everybody? Hey!
since we are away from a little ways away from fall activities, Kathy.
Yeah, well, not that far.
This one's coming up, so I wanted to mention this. So we do have a fall activity section of the general store.
I should go there then.
Yes, you should, because Hellerich's Family Farm in Doylestown.
Son of a bitch is stealing my
Cool.
thunder.
So you're probably ruining some of my list. But
No,
okay.
because it's this weekend.
Okay.
So, what is it?
What is it?
I wish he was dead.
Redhead Celebration
Yeah,
Day.
no,
What?
All right. Okay. No, it's all right.
What are you?
It's throughout the season.
There's a day. It's September 10th.
All right. Okay.
And
He doesn't respect what I do.
Were you going to hit this in fall activities?
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what to do. But, well, because I used Hellerich's Farm last year, but they have a whole new setup this year. So it's like I kind of want to add them again this year. But I did see about this.
Well, I'm bringing this up for the redheads who listen, for the gingers. And it is September 10th, noon to 7, and they have a day where all the redheads in the area and the people who love them get together and celebrate their special gingerness. So everyone
There's something magical about a redhead.
Everyone's invited, regardless of their hair color. Yes, I do have a fondness for redheads.
Though we did learn that redheads do not respond well to pain management at the dentist.
Yes, they can be immune to
Novocaine.
Deadeners essentially. To anesthetic. So they have an adventure farm and family-friendly activities.
So many activities.
Admission to the Sunflower Festival, 3 live bands. So they're going to be having contests as well. So they're going to have reddest red hair contest, the longest red hair contest, the best red beard contest, best curly red hair.
What about nipples?
And the oldest and youngest red hair as well.
Yeah, and you know what? Any of these sunflower farms, you have to go to them in September because by the time my activities list comes around, they're gone.
Okay.
So give us an ETA on the fall activities, because we're still technically in summer until September 21st.
I know. I actually was just doing some research. So if anybody has any ideas, send them to me because I'm pretty sure I did everything in the area. But
No, this just want to give it to Preston.
So no, I think we usually do it the first week in October.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. So anyhow, thought that was kind of cool to pass
That is
along.
kind of cool, especially if you like redheads.
This is another part of the store. It's it has to do with activities, but it's a travel section. And this is a recap of the first Burning Man festival after 3 years of COVID took place.
Looked pretty crazy.
And yeah, in fact, it apparently was out of hand. There was an apocalyptic 8-hour traffic jam in the sweltering desert to leave the site. So Twitter posts depicted the post-revelry congestion, and also they had a Thunderdome there, complete with Thunderdome fights.
Swinging on. I saw the whole thing. It exactly looked like Thunderdome. It was insane.
Yep. The
only thing missing was the Master Blaster.
One burned out reveler posted photos depicting 15 lanes of traffic that were clogged bumper to bumper for miles, like something out of a classic disaster movie. I mean, it looks ridiculous.
We've talked to people who've gone and who loved it. And
Chiquino goes every year with his buddy David Silverman.
Yeah, and our friends in the van there, people. Jess and Mike, they go every year as well.
Some burners, and that's what they call them, the people that go to this, reportedly had to wait as long as 12 hours to leave the event, with one attendee claiming, when we left at 8:38 p.m. last night, the estimate was 6 hours, but half our group took 10 hours, and the other half of our group took 12 hours to get to the gate.
So this is
to
what
get out.
the coiled,
Nightmare.
group of people just waiting to go to the event, and that's what you have here. But as you look at the picture, it's all like deserty.
Why are you
Why
even
just
there?
where?
Why'd you even go?
I'm going to guess. Oh, you mean
Driving in and out.
Yeah.
It's like the Bonneville Salt Flats. It looks like. Why don't you just
go wherever they want?
Yeah.
I would imagine maybe they had packed that area down so it's easier to drive a vehicle on.
Or is it like the toll booth in Blazing Saddles?
From this point of view, we probably can't tell that maybe it's that the sand is thicker on those sides because this is from up high.
Is that to get out, did you say? Or
yeah.
Okay, so
to leave.
10 hours.
Just to get out. Okay, because I have been in similar situations to get into a place. And that is actually, it was a lot of fun.
That was a fish thing.
It was a fish thing. But it's, it's the same idea. You know, you got all these, like-minded people headed to this place for a giant party, and the party kind of starts right then and there on the way in.
Remember, Michael Giacchino was saying how it was just every day was a blast.
So this was on the way out, and this wasn't the only disaster to plague the Burning Man, which was also beset by a Dust Bowl-esque sandstorm on Saturday. Allegedly obscuring the sun and carpeting revelers with dust. It also caused a whiteout that forced organizers to shutter entrances and exits to the site. Temperatures topped out at 105 degrees during the week, forcing flamboyantly attired attendees to strip down to their skivvies. Highlights included fire-breathing octopus and rhino contraptions, revelers dancing to Bohemian Rhapsody, while decked out in flamboyant costumes befitting of Brazil's Carnival celebrations, and a staged brawl in a Mad Max 3-inspired Thunderdome. Accompanying footage shows burners duking it out with foam swords while suspended by ropes and bungees from the area's ceiling like high-flying LARPers.
It looked pretty cool. One thing that didn't happen, and it happened, I guess, for the past couple, like a death. There's always, remember, like I think last year, a dude ran into the fire.
They haven't had it in 3 years, but maybe the last one they did, as in years past, the Fire Festival culminated in the lighting of the giant Wicker Man-esque effigy known as the Burning Man, marking the customary way of closing the show since the end. Inauguration in 1989. But apparently it was just a cluster F to get out of there.
Anybody else watch the Netflix documentary about Woodstock 99?
Yes.
Man, is it filled with anxiety, and it's so weird. And Casey, I know you were there, but anytime, I watched it last week before going out to the Gorge for a 3-day festival in Washington, and it made me nervous because that's how things can go wrong at these types of festivals. Most of the time they go right, but if they go wrong south in a hurry.
Yeah, they can get bad. So, but this one, seemed to be okay, other than just there were so many people there that leaving was a real problem.
Something you would ever do or would have ever done?
I would love to. It looks like fun, but it's a big undertaking.
Yeah.
I don't have the time. It's a real pain in the ass to get out there, but I think it would be a lot of fun. If you have a decent place to stay.
Yes.
If you've got a nice
Dolly
RV
Parton's tour bus.
That's the one you need. All right, we got to close up shop. Casey says it's time to shut down because we got a guest who's going to be joining us, so I'm sorry. We'll open up again soon, and you can swing by and browse the aisles.
Porn section?
Yeah, we got a porn section.
Got some fresh porn in.
Come on in.
A lot of felching.
Okay.
We're going to take a break. We're going to come back in a second, and we are going to get our friend Gary Goldman on the program. So stay with us. We'll be right back. So you have all these parties. What are the ones involved with having a baby? There's a shower,
The
right?
Barber Briss.
The Barber Briss.
But listen, like the I Do barbecue and the gender reveal, I think are kind of organized so that you don't have to bring a gift. You're not bringing a gift to, do you know what I'm saying?
A gender reveal?
Yeah, like it's more set up like the barbecue, like come over for a barbecue. You don't quite know what it is. But whereas an engagement party is, if you show up without a gift, or at least for me, if I showed up without a gift, I would feel awkward.
All right, hang on. I just saw a text that came over. It said Connor Betts, he's an assistant producer here, went to an I Do barbecue. I'd like to know if he brought a gift with him to the I Do barbecue. Because, Kathy, I think you have to bring a gift to an I Do barbecue.
I don't know. Here, well, Connor's.
All right, we need an explanation, clarification, in case I, by some stretch of the imagination, get invited to an I Do barbecue. I want to know what to do.
I did not bring a gift.
Okay.
Were you aware that it was an I Do barbecue before you attended?
Yes.
Okay, so that and it's the premise of the I Do Barbecue when
Yeah.
it was presented to you that you were coming because you were going to be asked to be a part of this wedding party?
Yes, and I was not a part of the wedding.
All right, did your girlfriend bring a gift?
No.
Okay.
So when you went,
Do you know what I'm saying? Like the gender reveal is to come. We're all finding out together what the baby is going to be. You're not going to bring a gift to that. The the baby shower. Yes, that's the point of a baby shower.
Huh.
Your friends, your family, they're bringing gifts so that you can be prepared for when the baby comes.
Connor prefers to be called Moose.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
That's just a nickname from high school.
Oh, I did not know that.
High
Okay.
school into college, and everybody calls
Okay,
me.
gotcha. Well, I didn't know that. Nice to meet you, Moose.
so Moose, what was it like at the I Do Barbecue?
Well, I didn't bring a gift, one, because they are wealthy and
Yes.
I am poor.
Right.
So I think my mom might have brought a gift, but I did not.
And so who with the cluster that you attended who was asked to be in the bridal party?
It was my friend's brother's engagement party, I guess. So then we were all friends with him, and it was a bunch of my friends, and then I was not asked.
Did they line you up?
I was back up.
Did they line you up in a row and then yes, no? Yes.
Yeah, it's like picking
No.
for a kickball.
Right, yeah, right?
Yeah.
No. And then, Connor, you're there with the caterer standing there.
Yeah, it was me and the caterer and the dog.
Right, yeah,
just
yeah.
on the side.
These are the ones who will not be in our wedding party. Shame them.
Sorry, Moose.
Why don't you forget the moose for a moment?
But you didn't go to the party expecting to be asked to be in the bridal party, right? Yeah.
Not even a little bit?
No.
it's
With
not.
how
It's
good
not
you look in a gown?
You don't have every friend you know in your bridal party.
No, but I'm saying this seems oddly. It is like being picked for teams in school.
No.
And you're left out of it.
No.
It's like why not break up into shirts and skins?
Well, I had never heard the term "I Do Barbecue" before, but apparently that's another one to add to the list with your gender reveals, your
Right.
sprinkles, your showers, your engagement
golden
parties,
showers.
your golden showers, the
I mean,
butterscotch bandits, your
and that's
Carl's.
overcomers.
That's, guys, you're combining things that
It's
don't.
disgusting.
It's not.
Yeah, Overcomer was a
We're
movie.
here
that
for
opened.
the hot Carl party.
What were you gonna say, guys?
I just don't make your wedding more special than it really is.
Yeah.
You know,
Or do it since it's your wedding.
yeah.
Don't make it more special than it really
Because
is.
it might end up in a murder-suicide, you know?
Wow.
You're not special. This day isn't special.
It might end up in that should
They
go on
had
a
an I Do
Hallmark card.
barbecue,
They had
and
an I-
now he's dead.
Congratulations. It might end up in a murder-suicide.
I'm Keith Morrison. It started with an I Do barbecue and ended with Where'd You Bury the Body?
Pierre is in the studio, about ready to take over for the day.
It's a miracle.
It is a miracle.
It is a
isn't it?
miracle.
Every day's a miracle.
Every day's a miracle. Rodney brought me coffee this morning.
Ah,
That's awesome.
Rodney's
I
the
mean,
man.
If Rodney isn't the greatest already, he, on his way in, found some wonderful coffee for me and brought it in.
I have a Superman statue that I'm going to give Rodney. There's one statue that has not ported over to my office. I said, if anybody around here deserves the Superman statue, it's Rodney.
I would agree.
Yeah.
You need more figurines and statues. though.
I have space now, and they will be coming. They're ordered and on their way. In fact, one should be arriving at the house today.
Yeah. Claire, God bless her.
She really is a saint.
She is a saint.
Yeah.
But I'm sure she said, no more in this house. Send them to the office.
Absolutely. Work it is.
Are there pictures of the assortment?
Oh, yeah, in the house. But there's still room in the house.
No, I mean up online, though.
Oh, yeah.
So that people can see how many Batman, Superman, other figurines you have.
Just go to our Instagram page.
Yeah. We posted yesterday. There's more on the way.
Yeah, so this is just beginning, but mostly featuring Batman and Iron Man.
Right. Okay.
Right now, I have to decorate properly.
Now, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. It's a miracle.
There you go. There's a picture of it in the studio right now.
Oh, this is the new office. too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yep. We just moved in the other
So
day.
there's huge spaces where people would put books and tapes and various recording instruments, but Steve has used they're 5 feet high statues.
Yeah.
And
They're not 5 feet high.
All right, they're 4.5 feet high.
4.5 feet. Yeah.
And the Iron Man gets a giant Iron Man head.
That's a 1-to-1 scale Iron Man head.
Wow.
I'm so glad listen, it looks good. You've organized it so nicely. I am proud of you. But I'm glad there's a buffer between me and you.
That buffer is Nick.
It's Nick.
Yeah.
I've started to straighten up my area.
You have. It's
and
looking
my collections are coming
better.
too. So I have display area finally. So I'm going to put some of my
Swords.
stuff up.
Nice.
I don't know if I'm going to do the swords.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
we'll
we
see.
threw the swords out.
No, I have a couple of swords. There's one like the Philadelphia Pipe and Drums brought us this really cool. It's engraved
awesome.
and everything. So that's for the show. I need to find somewhere for that. But I have other collections that I'm going to bring and display.
Are we
Look
going
up
to do that
top,
thing that we were talking about? That one idea where we were floating
We got to
around?
do that. Yeah, we'll hopefully get to that soon.
Okay.
That's an idea, and we'll get to it.
Yeah. We're not going to reveal what
No,
it
I
is.
understand.
We're going to put a chopping board in the middle of the room and hang our pots and pans from the ceiling.
No, that's Kathy's sections, along with the doilies and the Martha Stewart tribute area.
You know what? I've always wanted that. I've never had a setup where I can hang my pots and pans from like a ceiling setup.
I like that look. My wife doesn't like it, so we didn't get it.
Here's why I do like it. It looks great. But you can't use the pots because once there's a stain and you hang it up, now it looks ridiculous.
Shut up.
I'm just saying that's when
Once
it doesn't
there's
look
a
good.
stain,
That's why
that shows that that's a working kitchen.
Which is
There
fine.
would
but then
never
you-
be a stain if it was me because they'd never be used.
Me neither.
It would
That's
look
why I always
lovely.
wanted it.
It would work in your house.
Yeah.
See, that's why we should live together.
That's why we are married but stay apart.
Right. Forever.
I mean, you can't have sex all the time.
Well, exactly.
No, it's the perfect marriage. We don't live together and we don't have to have sex.
Yeah, you just love each other and then leave it at that.
We just love each other, and that's all
Kathy,
there is to it.
had she not met Dennis, she would have been married to a prisoner.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It'd be the perfect thing. What are you in for murder? Love it.
Right each other.
Yeah.
I didn't give away whatever it was I had yesterday.
You didn't?
So whatever that is.
It was a turkey.
It was a turkey.
We'll give it away today.
It was and pounds of steak.
And
so,
pounds of steak.
Yeah, not just a pound. Several pounds of steak.
I would like 7 pounds of steak.
7 pounds of steak. You got it, Buster. Step right up to Pierre's Butcher Shop. I got all the blood you need.
You should get for Halloween one year. You should go as a butcher, like with blood splattered, apron and everything. That'd be perfect.
A vegetarian butcher with all the zucchinis hanging from
Yes, and mangled tofu hanging from my locks.
Mangled tofu hanging from your locks.
Mangled tofu would be like dreadlocks, but tofu locks.
Yeah,
I like it.
All right,
Actually, I
we're cooking
don't,
with
but
gas
anyway.
now, mustard.
Oh my God.
Please welcome the one and only Mr. John Travolta to our studio. Good morning, John.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Nice to see you.
You sound good.
Thank you. I feel good. I feel very good. You know what? As I was introducing you, and I said, "Welcome to Philadelphia." You shot a film here in Philadelphia.
I did. I shot Blowout.
Yeah,
which is
Brian De Palma, great movie.
Yeah, thank you. I agree.
So this movie, we want to talk about The Fanatic, which is I actually I started watching it. I wanted to go into it cold, and it's a big departure for the kind of roles that you play.
Mm-hmm.
It's a horror suspense, but it also takes a peek inside the world of TMZ and fandom run Fanatical. And your character is very unique. And from what I understand, the character was written with you in mind. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was. Fred Durst from the Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
He wrote it, and he directed it. And I will say that he is quite inspired as a director and as an actor even.
Right.
And he helped quite a bit. He would improvise with me prior to the takes, and he designed this character, and I understood it because I am a fan. I'm a fan as much as we all are. And I think if you don't understand that, whether it's sports or whether it's the arts or icons or whomever you admire, you can't do this kind of role.
It's funny because John, because I collect things. I'm a massive movie fan. I'm a huge fan of yours as well. And there's something that, and it's your character exemplifies in the movies. Well, just to be able to get the tactile sensation of touching something that a celebrity or there's this bizarre thing. I remember it's odd, as I was watching the movie, I was thinking the story that Gene Siskel of Siskel and Ebert, it was very important for him to own the white suit that you wore on Saturday night.
Correct.
And he owned that. It was like a holy grail for him.
Yes,
so
and then Jane Fonda bought it.
Right. So
you're completely correct. But this particular guy, this character I play, is he's a man-child. He is maybe a little bit on the spectrum, which explains his irrational behavior. However, That being said, he's picked on and bullied at work, and everyone bullies him, but he's so used to it that he handles it. But when his favorite person in the world bullies him, this movie star, he doesn't know how to handle it. He gets confused. And when he gets confused, he does really odd things. And you'll see in the film that he goes over the line, but so does the movie star.
Yeah, and
the movie star goes over the line equally as well, by torture.
And his inability to pick up on social cues, it takes it down a path where it's like, oh no. And I got to tell you, John, the entire time while watching this movie, I don't think there was a moment where something on my body wasn't clenched.
Yeah.
Whether it was my hands or my mouth or even my butt cheeks. I mean, I was just like, it was tense.
Well, because
the
it's
whole thing.
Nothing
you know?
times up. The point when you finally get to have this moment with the Hunter Dunbar's his name is the character. He has a bad experience, and you just happen to come upon him at that time, and it never syncs up right. So that starts.
That's correct. It's also a movie about bad timing.
Yeah, and then some.
Because if he had just been in the right mood and had his autograph, he would have been over.
Yeah.
But of course, then we wouldn't have had a movie.
Yes.
But what I thought was brilliant was that I loved that your character before all that started to happen. So I almost felt bad, and I was like, well, it's not that bad that he's doing some of these things, but then it progresses into the movie. But you really made me love that character before you found out the other stuff.
Yeah, thanks. I wanted him to be loved because I feel like everyone is a little bit of the character Moose. We all have a little Moose in us. It's just how far do we take it? And if we didn't have Moose in us, how would we be, ourselves to create an effect on others?
Yeah, I might be in your plane later.
Well, Hunter Devin Sawa, is that the actor who's playing Hunter?
Correct.
Yeah. So again, nobody's all that awesome in this. Everyone's got, even his friends, or quote unquote friends, are not that good as far as friends.
Correct.
And I like that because that's sort of real. But I like also the peek into the side of the people who are out on the street who make money. You're dressing up as a Bobby, to pick up some money, and there are these things going on in that world that sort of, for some reason, Hollywood, when depicted in a seedier fashion, always appeals to me. It's like a Raymond Chandler sort of.
Well, also maybe that's a bit of the truth.
Yeah. But in a way, that's sort of, that's almost sort of enticing too. That bizarre aspect.
Yeah, I love how L.A. is depicted in this film. I think it's very real and tragic almost.
I thought in watching the movie at first, and now seeing you today, I probably know it's not the case, but I thought maybe you would cut your own hair for the role.
No, it was really cool because I said, when I loved the script and wanted to do it, I said to Fred Durst, what do we do about how he looks? I mean, the Hawaiian shirt was an obvious kind of choice. There's bad shorts and bad sneakers and all that. But I said, what about the hair and the look? And he said, well, what do you think about mullets? And I said, I don't know. It's overdone. And he said, well, there's a lot of different kinds. Would you care to look? So I looked on the internet, about 100 different types, and boom, suddenly there was this dude, with the exact haircut Moose has, with glasses. And I texted it to Fred, and I said, I found the look. I found it. And he said, I agree. This is the right way to go.
I have to tell you, I was at it, and when I saw this character of Moose, I've told you guys this story. I was at a convention one time, one of these conventions. I am a real fan like this, not Moose level, and Adam West was there, the original Batman. So everyone's
Adam
there.
West.
There was a guy who looks exactly like your character in this knapsack, the whole the backpack. With about 50 cans of Fresca in that thing, and that same sort of delivery. And you work on this character with that, Mr. West, and he's sort of that thing. And so your heart sort of that this is not just a hobby; it's his life.
And there is a difference. There's the professional fan that usurps signatures and sells them.
Right.
And then there's the guy that ain't selling nothing.
Yeah.
And is going to keep it. And that's Moose. Moose is not getting rid of any of his memorabilia at all. So how do you detect the difference? I don't know.
Yeah.
But definitely there is a difference.
And you're known to be fan friendly. When the opportunity is right and that person does approach you
respectfully.
Yeah, respectfully. Do you know what you're giving them? I would think, this is a very special moment for them.
Absolutely. And I grew up being a fan, so I understood.
Right.
And I remember a very famous movie star who will remain nameless, but he kind of, just discarded my. This is before I was famous, and I decided that if I ever became famous, I would never do that. So I live by that motto, But again, how do you navigate the line of privacy and
It is a tough line because, and again, with people who approach you, and we always think in that. Listen, we're on local radio, but whatever the stories, if somebody comes up, it's every time the edict is you shake hands, you say hi, you do the deal because that's an important thing, and sometimes as what happens with Hunter, the star in this, he lets his life cloud his remembering because it starts off with a quote from him, "I'm nothing without my fans," but he doesn't abide by that.
Well, sometimes there are good people that are bad celebrities.
Yeah.
Let's face it.
Right.
So my cure to that always has been don't go out unless you're in the mood for it.
That's good. Good rule. Yeah.
Are you in the frame of mind if you go out to dinner to be interrupted, bothered, whatever, take pictures? And if you are, go out.
Yeah.
If you're not, that's just part of the very small price you pay for this glorious life that we have.
Well, case in point, in 1996, you met a nice 21-year-old young man in Beverly Hills, California, and I had a job at the time where I was driving around cars for Enterprise Rent-A-Car in Beverly Hills, and I saw you, and the only thing that I could think to say was, "Oh my God, that's John Travolta," and you came over and you looked me in the eye just like you did 10 minutes ago and shook my hand and said, "Hi, it's very nice to meet you." And then you went about your day, but you couldn't have been more pleasant. And I've heard countless stories of how kind you are to people, and it's not hard to be nice. And I think people just lose sight of that. It's really easy to just be a decent, nice person to everybody else.
Let's face it, what you resist, you become. The more you withdraw from it, the worse it gets. So just, own it.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to tell you on the shaved head thing, I endorse it 100%.
You look good.
There's a movie that I love of yours. A lot of people are not familiar with it. They should be. It's From Paris with Love.
Oh, hell yeah.
And damn, you are the baddest badass in that movie. Preston, this movie will rock your world.
Okay, I haven't seen
and John is amazing in it. Who's the director of that?
That's the guy that did oh gosh, you've tested me now.
Yeah, he's great. He's done a whole bunch of stuff that's similar.
Fantastic.
But did you enjoy making that film?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Because they were demanding stunts and action that I've never, had done before, and I had to do them myself. And I loved the badass character. He was just whatever he was bold.
Yeah.
Pierre Morel, is that it?
Yes, there's
Pierre Morel.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you.
Well, I looked it up.
You've
so.
saved me.
What would you prefer, stunts or dancing?
Dancing.
Come on.
Any day.
Well, did Pitbull inspire?
Yeah, he's my buddy.
He's your buddy.
He's going to be at the Sellersville Theater, and he's always great to talk to. He's one of our favorites. Please welcome the amazing Gary Goldman today. Hi, Gary.
It's so great to be back, guys.
Nice to have you on. You were we're talking to you via Zoom. You're sitting in your car. Are you in a parking lot or?
Yes, I'm in a parking lot at a hotel. I'm up in Peabody, Massachusetts, to visit my mother, who is still alive.
Hey,
yeah.
Good that you're visiting her while she's alive.
Yeah, she's 89 years old. Can I just say something? And with all due respect to Master Spa, is anyone still using the radio traffic report to navigate their commute?
Oh, yeah.
Kathy?
Absolutely.
You mean like what the report that I give them? Yeah, sure.
Not
Why?
it-
Because you're thinking they're already in the car?
Right.
No, I'm thinking they should download Waze.
Yeah, there's an app that you can use.
Yeah, but you know what? But Gary, I have a lot more information than Waze is going to give, like how long they're going to be out there, what's happening. Because depending on what it is, you can tell how long something's going to be closed or how long it's going to be out there.
See, it doesn't affect you as much because you don't drive as much as you sit in parking lots.
Yeah.
Right. And Waze doesn't give you the mass transit updates as well. So there you go.
I don't either, really.
And great places to purchase your next spa.
Yeah.
Yes,
When was the last time
Gary.
Waze recommended a spa place for you, Gary?
Get off my back, Gary.
Oh my gosh!
Hey, Gary, I have a question for you. Are comedians still funny? With all the changes.
Wow.
I feel that you guys are in a tough position right now, as Master Spa is more valuable than I am.
Listen, if we have to, we will cut through you to get to Master Spa. It's just the way you know this better than anyone. It's a tough business. What kind of vehicle are you sitting in there, Gary, by the way? And that's my first question. The second question will be, do you have ketchup packets in your console?
I don't have any ketchup concepts in my ketchup packets in my console, but I do have a lifetime supply of Wendy's napkins in my glove.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I get in trouble with my girlfriend, Gary, because I hoard napkins and I keep them in the car in all of the doors. All of the doors in the car have napkins for just.
I respect that.
Thank you.
Nick, there's napkins behind Nick's computer right now.
Well, there are spills occasionally, and I believe that the napkins prevent damage when spills happen. So I'm glad that you have them in your car as well, because it makes me feel better about myself.
Yeah, it's important, and eventually I will go through 1/10 of them.
Okay.
No, you're kind of doing your part for the environment and using it, because sometimes fast food restaurants will give you a stack of napkins the size of a Bible.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
And you know what'll happen with that?
They're just going to get thrown away.
A porpoise will choke on them.
Yeah. We can't have that.
In an Old Testament Bible.
Yeah.
With the 5 books of Moses. I speaking of which, and this is a really cheesy segue, but I'm writing a memoir, and so I'm covering my time at a Jewish day camp.
Okay.
Okay, and I never went to overnight Jewish camp because it was in a different tax bracket.
Right.
But it's September, and I'm wondering if you guys noticed that when your adolescent Jews returned from their Jewish summer camp, did they seem to have a lot more confidence and ease with members of the opposite sex? Like, they went away as Ross Geller and returned as Joey Tribbiani. and I cannot forget my resentment, my jealousy. And I remember asking this kid, I said, well, how much does this Jewish camp cost? And he didn't know, which tells you everything you need to know about wealthy kids. I knew what everything cost. I knew what our phone bill was. I knew what the tax bill was, because poor people, their parents, all they do is complain about what everything costs.
It's true. It's true.
But did you notice that about the level of Jewish self-esteem after this summer camp, where nobody knew how big a nerd they were at their own public school? Nobody knew that they had a cruel nickname.
That's true.
Or that in my case, they once got out of a fight by saying they had a bar mitzvah lesson.
Oh, you poor thing.
You honestly got out of a fight by saying you had a bar mitzvah lesson?
Yeah, I said, can we do it tomorrow? I have to see Cantor Pesseroff this afternoon.
And it worked.
Wow.
And it worked. They were accommodating. It was still close enough to World War II where there was some sympathy for Jews.
I think that would confuse a lot of people. My friend, you know what, though? I had one of my really good friends growing up was Randy Kostanowitz, and he, I think he would bear out your theory about the camp, the Jewish camp / Masters and Johnson Clinic. I think that, because he had swagger. He really did.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and they would come back and they would all say, and whether it was true or not, you believed that I had a girlfriend at camp, I kissed her by the lake, and all these stories, and all I had was some bike rides to 7-Eleven for Slurpees and baseball cards. But these kids had they had this thing called Color Wars, which was like a a kosher Olympics, and they would all be more athletic at this camp because the obviously all the non-Jewish kids were gone, and it was sort of like if the NBA, instead of drafting players from all over the world, they only drafted players who played at Brandeis.
I gotta ask you though. Hang on a second though. When did you fill out? When did you eventually turn into the person that we're looking at right now? Because if anybody doesn't know what Gary Goldman looks like, he's about
big.
6'3", 6'4", 6'6". Okay, so I even gave you a couple of less inches. You were a Division I football player, if I believe. I think you played tight end at Boston College.
Yeah,
handsome as F, right? At what point did this all happen for you?
I was 6'5" and about 160 pounds as a 16-year-old, and then I filled out when I was 17. So I had a reasonably attractive junior and senior year of high school. But as you know, from adolescence through I'm now 52 years old, I still see the 16-year-old beanpole in the mirror.
Oh, listen,
you never lose that.
I'm still the kid who peed the bed at a sleepover back in the 80s. Like, I'm 40 some odd years old, but for some reason in my mind, I can't shake that kid. So I do get that. But at a certain point, I remember running into a guy that I went to high school with, and he and I were, around the same, or bedwetters. No, around the same height or whatever. And it was probably at like our 10 or 15 year high school reunion, and he grew. He was probably about 6'2" or so, and really handsome and successful, had a really great college career, ended up getting a great job, but still held all these resentments back from when he was 14 or 15 years old and wasn't able to let them go. And I'm like, wow, why is that? Like, look at you now. You're doing great. And but yeah. I live it as well, so I guess I shouldn't be asking that question.
It's interesting. It's very sad. It's the insecurity, and I'm sure some people are safe from it, but it's just, luckily my insecurity manifests itself in compassion and difficulty with eye contact. But some guys' insecurity, they're just mean and angry and aggressive, and luckily,
well, you have a spigot. Yeah, you have a comedy spigot that allows you to tap into. You have there's sort of a Holden Caulfield-esque type of thing that and sometimes you become hyper empathetic, and that's why your comedy resonates, because I don't care, even if you are that super successful guy who's good looking, just in general, everyone has that moment. It is a foundational moment. How was high school for you? How was junior high? What was school like? If you're a guy, what was your relationship like with your dad? All those things, it's been the stuff of literature and legend and lore forever, and it's because you can't escape it. It will impact you all the days of your life.
Wow. That was really well said.
Thank you.
And really insightful. And I think that's the thing you learn in comedy, is that you think these things that are so specific to you, nobody will understand, and then you share them, and it's quite an interesting experience that Greater Philadelphia can enjoy at Sellersville.
But it's true. It's more than just stand-up. It's enlightenment.
That's really nice to hear. I wanted to catch you up with our friend Todd Glass.
Ah,
yeah.
I talk to him on a frequent basis. He's the only comedian I've driven 2 hours to see the last time he was in Philadelphia, and we got to spend the shows. I watched both his shows that night, and he's funnier than ever. And Chip Chantry, who I believe is a friend of the show, he opened, and Chip is going to be opening for me at Sellersville. So it's a really great comedy community there, and Todd is also working on turning his live show into kind of I think he wants to do maybe a residency in New York or something like that. So he's
to do like a stage, like a more of like a stage presentation, an evening with kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I always think that a comedian who says an evening with is going to wear a smoking jacket and try to pick up on your wife after the show. That always makes me uncomfortable with an evening with.
So, all right, listen, when push comes to shove, when it's all said and done, at the end of the day, it's all about family, don't you think, Gary? Listen, I reached out to Gary back at the end of August because something popped up. It was a bit that you had done back in 2016, and the bit is how states got their abbreviations.
It's achieved classic status at this point.
And I listened to that bit, and I texted you. I listened to that bitch.
That's what he calls comedy bits he loves.
Yeah.
He calls them bitches.
I listened to that bitch so much.
Yeah, I listened to that Who's on First Pitch, and I loved it.
I listened to that bit so much. I swear to God, it's like listening to my favorite song. I don't listen to any comedy bits as much as I do that entire album. And that album came out in 2016. It is a masterpiece. Now, listen, we had Stephen Wright on yesterday, and he's got a way different style of comedy. And your style of comedy, I don't even know how to put my finger on it, but it is so smart and absurd at the same time. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a silliness to it. So I would say that intersects with absurdity. But oh my word, Stephen Wright is an immortal in the Zeus, Apollo, Hercules area. And so was he on Zoom or did he come into the studio?
Nah, he was just on the phone.
On the phone, yeah.
On the phone.
But he's great. The great thing is, Gary, and you'll know this, when you get a Stephen Wright or somebody, it's like, oh my God, you are Stephen Wright.
Mm-hmm.
He sounds, the delivery, the cadence, everything. But a good interview. But you're right. We talked. He has become an adjective now when you describe comedy styles, and that says it all, right?
Yes, totally. I mean, I remember just like what Casey is saying, just the amount of joy that man's jokes and routines brought me in high school and again, it's at a time when you think nobody else understands how funny this is. But then as you get older, you realize, millions of people were able to connect to this guy. But there's something about a good comedian who does weird things that you think, this is only for me. It's really a special relationship. I feel like Todd Glass does that for us. Like I always think I think Norm Macdonald said that Todd Glass was a comedian's comedian.
Oh, yeah. And Norm was a Mount Rushmore level comedian.
Yeah. Did Norm come on the show?
He did. And I'll tell you what, and I said this before, that was in the top. I really don't get nervous with people coming in maybe 2 or 3 times. Norm, because I just love Norm Macdonald so much, and his... I always talk about the economy of language in his structuring of jokes, and he came in, and I think he actually sold out, but he still came in, and which is cool. And he was great. He was Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, I remember listening to an interview with him where he talked about how people assume that he just goes up there and talks. And it's automatically funny. And he said, you have no idea how effing hard I work on these jokes and writing. And it was really inspiring because some people do this on purpose, but others, we just don't know. They make it seem like this just comes naturally to them. And it's really a testament to his humility that he would talk about how hard he worked, and it was really inspiring to me because it makes you think that, well, I just need to put in the effort and perhaps I can capture some moments like that. It's it's really sad that he's not with us, and also sad how he didn't tell anybody.
But that fits firmly in Norm Macdonald lore and an approach to life. He did not want that to get in the way of the humor. He did not want that to be the cause of perhaps anything that would sway people on how they would react to him, and he did it, man. I mean, here's a guy who did it all on his own terms, and you got to respect that.
Yeah, I would be telling everybody.
You'd begin the show that way.
Yeah. Did you watch the Tig Notaro documentary? Because she had gotten her cancer diagnosis and then basically went on stage that night. And it propelled her, and her, just her name so forward because that act that night was so raw and so real and funny too. It was what a great documentary that was.
Yeah, I love her work. I watched probably during the pandemic. I think it came out. She made this special on HBO Max that was animated, and it's just. I mean, she's almost like Schlep Rock, which is a reference that
I remember Schlep Rock.
Yeah.
That so few people, but she has the worst luck with her health. It's frightening.
Yeah.
That may be the first time that Schlep Rock was ever brought up by a guest of ours in the 27 years we've been together.
I'm glad Gary did it.
If you are just tuning in, it's Gary Goldman that we're talking to. And yes, he's going to be at the Sellers Theater on October 22nd, the Born on Third Base tour. You'd mention your memoir, working on that. It says tentatively titled K through 12. Are you just going to be covering that portion of your life?
Yes. For some reason, I have this unusual memory of everything from the first day of kindergarten and through my senior year of high school. Like I have clearer memories from first and second grade than I do, and I'm not exaggerating, this morning.
I hear you.
That's
on
how
that.
much they've impacted you, resonated with you. Those things. Probably all of these. You've been very, very open about anxiety and things like that. A lot of that probably goes right back to those days.
Also, consider this: at that point in time, you didn't have a head full of memories that were battling for dominance. So they got there first, and they've been hanging out the longest. It's like I always reference the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle description of Sherlock Holmes, and that Sherlock Holmes was so brilliant, but did not know that the planets, revolved around the sun, because it did not help him in solving crimes. Everything was refined down to what would help him solve those things. And so, I agree. I have really tangible memories of like second grade and kindergarten as well, and yet I get foggy on details that were that are more within the current time. It's crazy.
I didn't know that about Sherlock Holmes. I think that happens to a lot of comedians, that we block out everything that isn't content or what do they call it, copy or whatever.
Right.
And so we concentrate on these things we can make into jokes, and so our knowledge of things such as the planets and the solar system and Pluto's status as a planet, they're not as funny. But I also think that a lot of comedians are damaged.
No, there's a case to be made. I think. I forget who was saying this, but I think you have to be a repository of insignificant. You have to have. I always say I can talk about anything for about a minute and seem like I know what I'm talking about, just about everything, and then the charade is up. Like that imposter syndrome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I was listening to that Led Zeppelin song today, and I may have known this at some point, but I didn't know it at the time. I thought to myself, oh, Preston and Steve are a classic rock station? I thought they were just a talk show where I came on and I told stories of my life, and also they're only on when I'm there.
So listen, anybody who has never heard your album that came out in 2016 is called "It's About Time." Listen to it as soon as you get the chance. It is great, and there are so many awesome bits on it. But also, The Great Depression was just a revelation. What a great album! What a great special you can actually watch on television. And that what you're doing now is Born on Third Base. And so, are we going to see this anywhere besides Stellersville Theater?
Right? Yeah, someday. But with The Great Depression, it was sort of urgent because it was timely to get it on TV, and also it was so clearly worthwhile that people wanted to turn it into a special, whereas what I'm working on now is less important. I think it's mostly autobiographical regarding how poor I was growing up, and also how I managed to run out of money every few years. But,
what's wild about the Great Depression is, all right, so you have a line that was sort of glossed over in It's About Time, where you said, I'm not judging you. I'm on everything but roller skates right now, which was just, it was a one sentence line, and just to let everybody know that, that you suffer from depression. And it just sort of glossed over. Like, people, you can hear that line and not even understand what you fully meant. And then when you do a whole hour special, basically explaining what that line meant is just brilliant. And I don't know what the response was that you got from that, but I would imagine it was probably overwhelming.
Well, that's really interesting. The response is overwhelming. I mean, I continue to get messages literally every single day of people who are just discovering it or using it to show their family what it's like to be depressed. But the interesting thing that I don't think anybody's ever brought up, It's About Time, but the funny thing about It's About Time is the complete lack of interest in that special, and my inability to sell it to anyone, and lost money for everybody involved. That led to the crippling depression that made the Great Depression possible. Like, I was so devastated by the fact that what I thought was my greatest work was completely ignored, that, I mean, there are a million other things that go into a breakdown and a hospitalization, but I really believe had I had not put so much effort and so much of my self-esteem into the results of the It's About Time special, I probably wouldn't have had to go through as long a period, but also I probably wouldn't have been so open about my depression. I could have lived with it and managed it, and it wouldn't have been so clear that I had to. The thing with when I first started workshopping the stories and jokes on the Great Depression is that it was so clear there was something wrong with me because I was so shaky and I looked so disheveled that I had to address what was going on in my head. So it was a sort of a blessing in disguise.
All right, well, with the titles It's About Time and the Great Depression, those are pretty self-explanatory. I'm intrigued by what Born on Third Base is supposed to indicate.
Well, Born on Third Base is this expression that I've heard attributed to people who probably weren't smart enough to come up with this, so I don't know who came up with it. But the expression is he was born on third base and he thinks he hit a triple, and I talk about how I grew up on food stamps and free lunch and welfare, but I was essentially born on third base because people will ask me, well, what is the key to your success? And I normally tell them I'll let you know when I get there. But if I had to choose the keys to my success, I would say tall, male, and white. I was born on third base. Despite my financial condition, I was a white man in the 70s. I got a scholarship to play football at a good school that I never could have gotten into or afforded if it weren't for this weird thing where I was athletic through no fault of my own. If you had given me a football at 14, I would have decorated it. I had no interest in playing football. And then these guys saw me in gym dunk a basketball, and they were like, "You're going out for the football team,
right?
And we'll get you a scholarship." And in the 80s, stuff like that happened pretty frequently. And so then I get out of college, I go into show business, and I'm a Jew. Which is
they're few and far between in show business.
I heard Mel Brooks is.
You know what though, Gary? As I'm hearing you talk, just to jump in here, I completely hear everything you're saying, and I had this discussion with my wife. You know, you demur from compliments. We had Bill Burr on a while ago, and I was complimenting him about one of his specials, and he like, you know, comes back and shoots himself down. He goes, "I'm sorry, I'm not good at this." And it's like at a certain point, you know, it's like you have to give yourself permission to step back and go, "Holy hell!" I'm not a silver platter person. You put in the hours, you've done your suffering. It's not, you know, and just like I tell my wife all the time, take a compliment, learn how to take it. It's because you know what I'm saying? It's difficult, and I have trouble practicing what I'm preaching, but I think it's an essential thing to be able to look back and say, okay, I worked for this, and I deserve at least some of this.
That is true, but I remember reading an essay by Kurt Vonnegut about this survivor's guilt that he had, and it really resonated with me. It's just that, and you're in a very competitive business, as am I, and you see people who are talented, in some cases more talented than I am, and for whatever reason, the audiences don't appreciate them or find them or seek them out. And so there's this guilt, and I always think of I don't want anybody to think that I don't recognize how fortunate I am and know how grateful I am, because I'm in this
right.
incredibly competitive position. It's so bizarre that we rely on people to be dedicated to us, and yet we don't really think that much of ourselves.
That's true.
So
it's true.
Is that the same Kurt Vonnegut that was in Back to School? Because I probably wouldn't know who that was if he didn't show up in a movie with Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, it's the exact same one who I mean, I'm not an especially religious man, but I've cobbled together a philosophy based on Kurt Vonnegut novels and Indigo Girls lyrics. and
we were just talking Indigo Girls.
They're
great.
They're brilliant and so heavy. Also, I find good quotes on Goodreads.
Do you remember years ago? I don't know if people remember the Reader's Digest condensed versions of novels. Do you remember that?
Oh my word!
Yeah, they used to be the big things. I mean, what author would not love to see a pair of scissors taken? I mean, masterpieces that are. I don't have time to read that. If you could truncate it a bit for me, you know, leave out Romeo. I just want to find out what happens to Juliet.
Right, but the thing is, most people haven't even read the condensed version.
Yeah,
it's true. It's true.
All right. Well, listen, Gary, we always appreciate an opportunity to talk to you, and maybe we'll get a chance to chat before you get in again sometime. October 22nd is the show at the Sellersville Theater. There are tickets available at GaryGoldman.com. I'm sure we'll link that on our
you have to see
website and socials and stuff. But yes, you've got to go see Gary.
Hilarious.
Just the best. So tell your mom we said hi. All right. And we'll talk to you soon. Okay, bud?
All right. Thanks again for accommodating me, guys. I love you.
Anytime. We love you too. Gary Goldman, guys. He's the best.
He's great.
The
I had
best.
no idea that his that 2016 album wasn't successful for him because it's a masterpiece. It is so good from beginning to end.
He spent 2 years he was hospitalized. He had a full mental breakdown, and he says he talks about how he's dealt with this. It's this bizarre thing that always you say why him, but he said the experience was good. He goes around actually trying to tell people that, as you say often, Preston, talking to a therapist, talking to a third party, talking to someone who can give you some perspective, can really make a difference. That's what brought him back. He's, but that sense of humor certainly has helped him all his life.
Absolutely. All right, we're taking a break, and as we do so, we'll give you something to make you happy. Minions: The Rise of Gru is on digital, and it's the #1 animated movie of the year, with 2 all-new mini-movies as well, outtakes and more. And you can order it on digital and Blu-ray now, so we'll take call number 16, 215-263-WMMR. We will give that to you just for hanging out. And don't forget, we got a secret text word, too. It's a chance for you to get tickets to Tenacious D this Sunday at the Man. So text the word secret to 39333 because we'll get a winner shortly for that, too. We'll be back in just a moment.
As a fan.
Right.
And then he's such a brilliant entrepreneur. He got thinking about it, and he said, maybe I should put him in one of my videos dancing, because nobody's dancing very much anymore,
Right.
He does, but nobody else really. So I thought, well, hell, I'll join him. And
I think Christopher, I'm sorry to interrupt. I think Christopher Walken has danced in every single movie, even if it's for just a quick shuffle step. I think in every single role he's ever done.
Got a Broadway history. Music. Yeah,
and you danced with him in Hairspray.
I certainly did.
Yes,
he played my husband.
That's right.
So I wanted to ask you, because you had 3 movies in a row that I really loved of yours, and it started with Wild Hogs. I can't believe I loved it as much as I was laughing out loud.
It's a funny movie.
It is a funny movie. It really is. It surprised me with how funny it was. I don't know if that's a backhanded compliment or whatever, but
no, it's a funny movie, and who would have thought a bunch of old guys in motorcycles would be that funny?
But your character as Edna Turnblatt in Hairspray, and I love that movie. I have songs from that movie in my iPod. You Can't Stop the Beat is a really, really great song.
Great. Yeah.
And then followed by Bolt. And speaking of songs,
he's not kidding.
I'm not kidding. I have I Nearly Lost You, that it was a duet that you did with Miley Cyrus. Yes. I have that on my iPod.
Do you really?
I do. And I thought you sounded great in that. So this is a long diatribe, but what do you prefer, singing or dancing?
I'd still prefer dancing, but I enjoy singing because I did both as an early professional. In order to work in New York, you had to sing, you had to act, you had to dance. 3 chances of getting employment.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed all of them,
Yeah.
but I'm most comfortable dancing and then probably acting and singing. I just happen to be able to hold a pretty good tune,
Well,
and I had a very high, like almost a high baritone or tenor.
You still do.
Voice, yes.
You still do. I mean, in Bolt, in that song, and I would ask anybody that, has an iTunes account or whatever, listen to the song if you haven't heard it before. It's the song that ends.
He's played it for us many times.
Maybe, but it's the song that runs at the end of the movie.
Well, it just seems that my voice is like, for instance, You're the One That I Want in Greece.
Yeah.
And Bolt song, there's this high, range that I sing in that it's kind of different than most people. So it's kind of identifiable as my niche or something as a singer.
I love the way you sing. You're the one that, because you're the one that I want.
Yeah. A lot of yodels in that song.
A lot of yodels. So with a career as long as yours, getting back to the Fanatic,
it's biblical, yes.
It seems I never hear stories of you. There never seems to be a situation like a moose ending up. You don't seem to draw that kind of.
I don't, because I think because I embrace my fans.
Yeah.
And I actually communicate with them. There is not that urge to. I'm not a mystery as much, you know, and I'm not a can't have.
Right, right.
And as soon as you become a can't have, it starts a frenzy, you know.
So some people are calling it a horror suspense. You know, do you like things of the things that make you
I
uncomfortable?
like the ones I've done. Like I love Carrie. You know, when I was a kid, I did that movie. And
was that your first major film?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, with Brian De Palma, and then we got together again for Blowout, and I certainly love that.
Which is so we work obviously with audio. It took the classic film Blow Up and made it audio.
Yes, exactly.
And so I remember thinking, and then I thought with the editing and all that stuff, it actually was one of the things like I think I want to do this. But Brian De Palma is a brilliant director. Did you see the documentary on him recently?
I haven't.
He goes on about you in it, and just nothing but accolades and working with you. But it's a really cool insight to the movie.
When did this come out? I'd love to see it.
I watched it on iTunes.
Netflix or
Yeah,
iTunes?
It's probably all over the place.
I'm gonna have to see that one because I love documentaries.
Yeah.
I mean, they're my favorite entertainment.
There's actually CNN is doing a good series on movies now, a documentary series, and you are figuring prominently in it as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Two things to watch.
John, I wanted to ask in The Fanatic, your character Moose mentions a couple of times somebody you've worked with before, and that's Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes.
And
she's got two pools.
I got a kick out of hearing that because I'm sure you guys are friends or have been over the years, and maybe it's been a while. But has word gotten back to her that, or have you heard from her that she's mentioned in that?
Not yet, but soon.
Okay.
Soon. I invited her to the premiere, so maybe she'll learn that.
Yeah. I thought, was that Fred's idea to include that, or did he write that in?
Okay. He wrote that. All the dialogue is. I improvised quite a bit, but all the primary dialogue is Fred's.
Okay.
Because it seems. But I was reading that he was working with you, sort of. Asking questions to Moose to incite responses, so that you started to think.
That's
in that
the actor, and Fred he's a really terrific actor as well as a director. But he's the only director I've worked with that actually could do this. But he would legitimately improvise with me as Moose, and it got me in the frame of mind. And then I would go to each department. I go to the lighting department, the wardrobe, the makeup here, and I'd be in character, and I'd have them ask me questions. And it was like a juggernaut. And as soon as Fred sensed that I had arrived at the Moose Zone,
the Moose Zone,
boom, we would do action.
That's cool.
And it was a very, very great way to. There's nothing better for an actor to prep than for someone to ask them questions about them.
In the character.
In the character.
So
to think in the character.
Is that classically what we would refer to as method?
No, I'd say it's a method.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the classic method because it is more about reliving past incidents and things. I think this is more.
And you never had a mullet.
And I never had a mullet. But I do think that assuming the beingness of a character quickly is where you want to be when you do a role. And it helps you to be that when you're asked questions before you go on.
Sure.
It's nice.
You didn't have a mullet, but you did have long hair in Pulp Fiction, and I get you in my phone fairly frequently when I'm not when I'm running late to the gym. My trainer will send me a text, and it's just you doing the looking around me give in Pulp Fiction. In that role, you played such an interesting character because you're lost a lot of the time, and you're in this haze, but you're also in this like euphoria. Where did that come from?
It's a very good question because he's a hitman, but he's also what they call a chippy, a weekend heroin addict. And I thought, well, I have no reality on that. I'm gonna have to find out. So I interviewed several heroin addicts and asked them about how they felt. And then finally one day I said, look, I'm never gonna do it, so you have to help me understand that feeling. And he said, okay, well, I really can't, but if you have to know the beginning of the feeling, is get really drunk on tequila and lay in a body of warm water. And he said that little bit of feeling is the beginning of that.
Did you do that?
I did that. And of course, when I'm not a drinker either, but when I did it, everyone I knew wanted to join me in the experiment. Oh, that sounds cool. When are we doing that? Wow. Okay, we are doing my character study together tomorrow night.
Man, that sounds like fun. I want to do that.
It was fun, and then from there I grew, and then with the descriptions that they told me, and I was able to design it. But that's even Quentin didn't know all the time what I was doing because he just trusted me. He said, John, why he's walking that slow, why he's talking this slow. I'll figure it out later. But
He let you go? He just let you go?
He just let me go.
Wow.
Because I think the great ones do that. Brian De Palma and Quentin and Robert Altman and Mike Nichols, all those guys I worked with all had that one thing in common. They hired you, you're 90% there. 10% is guiding you here and there.
Is that what happened? So it's Saturday Night Fever. John Badham was the director?
Yeah, he let me go because I said, Badham, you're from Texas. I'm from New York. I know this guy better.
Yeah.
So leave me alone. I'll help you with me, and then I won't interfere with how you direct
It's
it.
got to be the ultimate compliment as an actor for a director to say, you got it.
It is,
Yeah.
and it's the smartest.
Yeah, yeah.
If the actor is trustworthy.
Right.
I think it's the only way to go, because otherwise you get a mediocre performance as opposed to a kind of a higher end performance.
I want to ask you, you've worked with John Woo twice, right?
Oh, yes.
So you did Face Off and Broken Arrow, and for a guy who's so incredibly likable, you play a incredibly adroit prick in those movies. You are so evil.
I haven't figured that out yet. How is that possible?
But it seems to me you enjoyed it so much, especially with playing basically Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
With that, and you are so hilariously evil in that. Was that just a joy?
It was a joy.
Yeah.
And it was easier for me than it was for Nicholas.
Because he had to tamp down.
Well, Nicholas really had to find me somewhere, and he had a hard time finding me in the movies because I'm different in most movies. But Nicholas is very specific in his talk and his behavior, and so it was a little easier for me to grasp his side of it than it was for him to grasp my side.
So I wanted to ask you, let's get away from acting for a second. I wanted to ask you about your planes and your pilot's license. What ratings do you have, and how long did it take you to get them?
Okay, you ready for the long list?
Well, so I have a couple of friends that are pilots, and so I'm a little bit familiar with it.
Okay, I have 10,000 hours in the air.
Jeez.
It's quite a bit. I have, let's see, 12 jet ratings, 747, 707, Gulfstream, Citation, Lear, Hawker, Falcon jet, three different fighter jets.
No kidding.
Oh, wow.
Wait, which fighter? Because Preston and I have both flown in fighter jets.
Yeah, I went
we
up
didn't
with the
pilot it.
No, I got to fly mine little. I went up with the Blue Angels. And,
did you?
Yeah.
How was
a
that?
media flight. It was amazing.
Did they make you sick?
I passed out and puked.
That's why I won't go with them because I don't want to do that. I have too much pride to end up, doing that. But
Yeah, it was FA-18. You were in an F-16 because he was with the Air National Guard.
I wore a G suit, so I didn't pass out or get sick.
Yeah, well,
but I
that's
did pull 9
good
Gs.
for you.
Yeah.
Well, you have to tell them before. You have to say, you know what? I don't want to get sick. Please don't make me. Yeah. So that's my.
And how many years? How long did it take?
Oh God, I've been flying since I was 16.
Okay.
Really? It blows my mind when I see a shot of you sitting in the cockpit of a 707. I mean, because I know my litmus test has always been if you've ever locked your keys in your car, you shouldn't be a pilot. So but to me that it requires such a skill set and an attention to detail. And you just legitimately, we know about like David Gilmour as a pilot, and there are a lot of people just love it. I'm thrilled with the notion, but I would never do it because I know my own limitations. But I mean, when you get behind when you're flying a 747, are you white knuckling it, or are you just in absolute ecstasy?
No, I find that the bigger the plane, the more almost simple it is.
Really?
Yeah, and less complex. Well, it's complex in its systems, but it's, there's a lot of booster systems and boosted systems, I should say, that make it like a power steering. It's kind of effortless.
Backups.
You don't really feel the size of the plane.
All right.
In the smaller jets, you actually feel it more.
Would there be enough room for me to lay down and cry? Because that's all I have.
Yes, you can lay down and cry.
Well, being famous, you have a lot of people have the privilege of having private jets and being flown all over the place. When you do get into one of your jets or something, are you flying it?
Yes, for the most part, unless I'm tired, and then you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Did you see there was a news story yesterday? Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s citation that went off the runway, caught on fire.
Really? Really?
Everybody got out. Everybody was okay, but the plane was a total loss. Yeah.
Oh, I've got to look that up.
Yeah,
I think you always learn by these things. You know?
Okay. Yeah, they're the FAA and the Safety Administration are looking at it. Speaking of aircraft, your 707 is getting is being donated.
Yes, I'm donating to Australia. I've had it 18 years and I loved it, but it's getting antiquated and it's time to give it away. So I'm donating it to an Australian museum.
Was this the one we heard? We were talking to Olivia Newton-John, and she said that she had never seen Grease, and you had her and her husband.
Yes.
Come on.
Well,
his husband had never seen.
He had never seen.
And
Grease.
you actually went on the plane and watched it.
Correct. Yes, that is correct. I said, if you're going to marry Olivia Newton-John, you better see Grease.
Oh, that must have been so much fun.
It was watching his reaction, because then he became the entertainment, watching him watch the screen, like I did with my dad with Mary Poppins.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, we're going to begin with an alligator story. We've had a lot of alligator stories, and believe it or not, I will have more alligator stories tomorrow.
Wow.
Even. Like, I've got a surplus of alligator stories.
That's how I lost my hand.
A 77-year-old woman has been attacked by a nearly 8-foot alligator in a Florida neighborhood. The Bradenton woman was rushed to the hospital after she was bitten by the reptile that had been lurking in a pond.
Damn alligator bit my hand off. Oh, my God.
Neighbors heard the woman's screams, and one rushed outside to help. Florida is home to 1.3 million alligators. They can be found in all 67 counties of the state and often lurk in local ponds and wetlands. Wildlife officials arrived on the scene to investigate.
I wonder how the population now compares to years past. Has it exploded? Is it about the same?
It's not yet clear how severe the woman's injuries are. A neighbor who had rushed outside help saw the alligator on the sidewalk shortly after the incident. As he started yelling at it, the gator released the victim and proceeded back into the water.
We should, down there at least is what they should do, they should have orangutans in golf carts with guns.
Yes.
Driving around.
Yeah, as security.
Yeah, as security.
Yeah, to keep the unwanted alligators out. My mom and sister, where they live, there's a pond next to the parking lot. There's a gator in it. We discovered him this year. It's pretty wild, and I've seen him.
No, in the town where your story is.
Bradenton? Oh, Bradenton.
Yeah.
Okay. So as they investigated, police officers had a weapon on hand in case the alligator attacked. The gator was measured at 7 feet 10 inches long and euthanized by a licensed nuisance alligator trapper.
Steve, you notice how these attacks never happen in Canada?
Never.
All right, we should have audio for this. This is from yesterday. Julie Chin is her name, a news anchor on the Tulsa, Oklahoma NBC affiliate KJRH, has revealed she suffered the beginnings of a stroke during a live television broadcast. The journalist was delivering the news on Saturday morning. She started stumbling and was unable to read the words that were right in front of her. She said it seemed to have come out of nowhere. I felt great before our show. However, over the course of several minutes during our newscast, things started to happen. She said she first lost partial vision in one eye and added a little bit later, my hand and arm went numb. And then I knew I was in big trouble when my mouth would not speak the words that were right in front of me on the teleprompter. She desperately tried to steer the show forward, but she said the words just wouldn't come. So here we have a clip of her in the middle of this newscast.
Artemis 1, the first step in the race to return to the moon. Chris Pallone, NBC News, Cape Canaveral, Florida.
Throw it to her.
The Tulsa Air and Space Museum is hosting a launch today at the event. The event features live. I'm sorry, something is going on with me this morning, and I apologize to everybody. Let's just go ahead and send it on over to meteorologist Annie Brown.
We love you so much.
We
have those days, and we are all
feeling well.
Yeah, so
I can't read it. There's no words on it.
He was having a stroke.
He was there too.
So she apparently her coworkers identified that something was wrong. They called 911, and she spent the last few days in the hospital undergoing all kinds of tests. Yeah,
yeah. I was mentioning this, Nick, like with your situation with your dad. This is a if it's caught early, the prospect of a full recovery is really good. But you got to know those signs.
She said she'd be back at the news anchor chair to share more stories after they continued to test and look into what may have happened to her. Yeah. The Canadian Army is investigating after a video was posted on social media showing a soldier parachuting over Petawawa while drinking a beer. The video shows a bearded
That's pretty cash.
Canadian soldier attached to his parachute and slowly descending over a large body of water. He then holds up a beer, opens it, and starts drinking of it. And then the soldier says, "The government," and shakes his head before the video ends. The video started circulating on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok on Friday. It was also publicized by Task and Purpose, which is a U.S.-based website that covers military and veterans affairs. National Defense spokesperson said that the soldier is from the Quebec-based Royals 22nd Regiment, and the video was filmed during recent parachute training at Garrison Petawawa. The soldier in the video is no longer serving, having left the Canadian Forces on September 1st. It was like his next to last day.
Okay.
He's like, I'm cracking a beer while doing this, so I don't know if he'll face any
Maybe
kind
more
of
people would jump out of planes if they allowed you to do that.
disciplinary thing or not. I thought this was kind of interesting. 2 earthquakes hit Liechtenstein just as lawmakers, this is in Germany, just as lawmakers in the tiny Alpine Principality were debating the pros and cons of earthquake insurance.
What?
Lawmaker,
Can I amend my vote?
Lawmaker Bettina Petzold-Mayer had just warned that the chances of all Liechtenstein citizens being affected by an earthquake striking the country was high when the first small tremor hit shortly before 2 p.m. Is Liechtenstein a country?
It's its own country.
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
It's one of the only countries in the world that's twice landlocked.
Twice landlocked?
Yes, surrounded by countries that are also landlocked.
That's pretty crazy.
Fun fact.
Mayor laughed and continued until the
There should be a little animation that comes out.
The second quake struck, visibly shaking the room. And she said, the speaker, Albert Frick, said this is getting a bit much. You never know if there'll be aftershocks or not, announcing a 15-minute recess. That's what Frick said anyway. Records by the German Research Center.
What the frick are you saying?
Frick saying.
Do you know we're double landlocked and no one brought that up?
The other mother.
They really make him feel good when he shows up at work.
Yeah, they have a little, everybody sings to him. Here comes Frick.
The other one's Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan
Yeah, twice
is the
landlocked.
Twice landlocked. Well, let's all sing a song of celebration about that.
They like that guy.
Police said no injuries or damage were reported, and they gave a magnitude of 3.9 for the quake. And
That's a decent quake.
That's a good spot to wrap things up right there. It's our file for you this morning. All right, Kathy, let's do this. We need a caller for the secret text word, please.
12.
All right, we'll take 12 caller, 215-263-WMMR. Let's see if you know the secret text word. We'll come back in a second with more no's from the Back to School A to Z. What will it be next? You're going to have to wait and find out. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
Accompanying live music with the movie, and people were just going nuts for it. I mean, the movie's nearly 40 years old, or maybe it's 40 years old at this point.
It is, and it is a phenomenon. It's really interesting to see how each generation embraces that film. Because I remember when I was little, watching Yankee Doodle Dandy or,
Cagney.
Watching Wizard of Oz, and they all held up, but they were only 20 years old at that time.
Yeah.
This movie's 40, and it's still like it was as though it were done last year.
Yeah, it's pretty timeless.
It's really timeless, which I'm proud of.
It's funny, though, because I think there was a certain group in time where I was very aware of silent films, and it wasn't like I was around, thank God.
Yes,
you
but
know.
they showed them on
You would see
4
it a lot.
o'clock movie.
Right,
things like
right.
that. Yes,
And you had an appreciation for it. That's a little harder to get now. But I mean, so for right now, I think a lot of people to be turned on to the movies of the 70s, which you are a part of.
Sure.
The second golden era of Hollywood.
Yes.
You know, because these are great movies that sit there. And when kids or younger people discover them, the light goes on. It's like, oh.
Yes,
because
and the more timeless they are, the more they discover them, not only in a new unit of time, but as though it were they were back then.
Yeah.
And it had the same impact because Grease and Saturday Fever seemingly, even Urban Cowboy, to have the same impact on the new generation that it had on people then.
Absolutely.
For some reason.
Still as profound as ever.
Yeah, it seems it. Do you know?
Yeah, as I did musical theater growing up, and Grease is the one play that has always eluded me, and I always wanted to play Danny Zuko, and now
I wanted to play Sandy.
Yeah, as a 44-year-old man, that's never gonna happen.
Oh,
yeah.
at that point,
you're Donald Zuko at that point.
I think you should do it. The Fox News Group did today. They did a reenactment of Grease. They filmed it per shot.
Oh, really?
Yes. You guys could do that.
We could do that.
100%.
We've got our Sandy.
Absolutely.
We've got all our T-Birds here.
Sure. Frenchie.
I'm the lesser known guy, Baldy. So
It doesn't matter. Just do the leather jacket. You're home.
I mean, we still to this day, if somebody says rockin' and rollin',
And whatnot.
of course,
It just finishes all the time.
Every single time.
Without
That's
fail.
hilarious.
Yeah, well, so just thank you for all of that stuff that you've given us
You're
over the
welcome.
years. It's a
stuff.
real pleasure actually looking at you in the flesh. You have beautiful eyes. Sean.
Really?
Man, it didn't get uncomfortable to the very end.
No, are you kidding? I'm an actor. I love compliments. Please, more.
You're dressed really nice too. And what a watch on you in the pocket square.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I've decided that we're each other's scenery, and that at some point, maybe not for yourself, but for another person, you have to be presentable.
Yeah.
So anyway,
You had a great quote on Good Morning America. You're making the round, so you were hitting those guys, and you said something I thought was a great outlook, and you said, life is art. Life is art, so appreciate it, enjoy it, and it's here for your entertainment.
Well, it is, because I think so many people don't view life as an art, but how you eat, who you spend time with, where you go, how you do it, how you dress is all part of an art if you choose to allow it to be an art. It's not just the quote unquote arts of music and dance and sports, and it's actually how we live, what we're doing right now. Well, of course, this is an art because you're on radio performing.
Yeah.
But it's how we interact is also part of the art of life.
I love that. I love that outlook. All right. Well, if you want to see John definitely in a role
big departure,
unlike he's ever been in, then you want to see The Fanatic. It's a great movie, and it's in theaters on August 30th. Wonderful to have you here, John. Thanks so much.
This was probably the most fun I've ever had at an interview situation. This has been awesome.
Thank you so much.
And loved your story, Nick, and I loved your story, Casey. Oh my God, two great stories.
I want to hug you so bad right now. Let's hear it. John Travolta, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, John. Ewan McGregor is in talks to reprise his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi in a series that centers around his Star Wars character for Disney Plus, according to the Hollywood Reporter.
It is Obi-Wan Kenobi, attorney at law. It's a departure.
That would be.
Yeah. I think you should let him off with time served. Giving you time served.
He's using the Jedi mind trick to sway the judge.
I think you should find him innocent. I'm finding you innocent.
I object.
There's no way that's legal.
It's totally legal.
Oh my God.
I think you need to go to sleep. I got to go to sleep now.
That would be.
I would
That would be brilliant.
I would totally
Attorney at law.
This isn't the evidence you're looking for.
Yeah.
Even if you're stone cold guilty, give me a call.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the commercials. Yeah.
Demand Kenobi.
Yeah. And he's licensed in Missouri.
I am.
Yeah.
And even if I'm not, I'll convince them I am.
Yes, that's right.
I'm licensed in Missouri. He's licensed in Missouri.
Better call Obi.
Would he wear would he be a cowboy hat?
Space cowboy.
Lawyer?
Yeah.
Type? Oh my God. Obi-Wan Kenobi, attorney at law.
Anytime, day or night, even on New Year's Day.
coming soon to Disney Plus.
Or Life Day on the Wookiee home planet.
No, this could be good. I loved him as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I didn't care for the series of movies, but I thought he pulled it off
I agree.
wonderfully.
He was the thing that kept me watching, and he provided, I believe, the emotional core to those. The second and third movies I really do like. I think they're good. In just tone and in some way, the distinction between the Abrams movies, the artificiality of the first trilogy was almost too much. It was so CGI'd that it was hard to connect to.
Yeah,
But
everything on the screen was fake.
Yeah.
Except for the people, and even in that case, a lot of like Jar Jar obviously was fake. But there's a big stretch of time where we don't know what happens with Obi-Wan, and maybe they'll fill in that time.
Yeah.
with his law career,
law school,
With this,
passing the bar.
Mr. Kenobi, do you have anything to say? John Houseman.
So anyhow, we'll see when that eventually
He gets his own
surfaces.
judge show.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
This bitch still got my TV. Give the TV back.
He's settling these small claims cases.
It's like Sam
This
people.
bitch still got my TV.
Oh my God. Oh.
I suggest you return the TV. Give me the TV.
All right, TMZ reports that Davy Chase. Now, I looked her up, and it says she starred in The Ring. She was Samara. She's the psycho.
Yes.
The scary girl.
The girl in the well.
And by the way, turns out she's gorgeous.
Yes, she is.
She was arrested, and she was arrested on a drug possession charge and spent some time behind bars. Yeah.
But she escaped through the television, didn't she?
She did. She managed to get
I
out
knew
of it
we were
through the
going that
TV.
way.
But she's had some run-ins. Last year, she was locked up after cops pulled her over for joyriding in an allegedly stolen car.
She was locked up for 7 days.
Is the phone rings after 7 days or something like
In
that?
7 days. Yeah, that's when you die. You have 7 days to get your affairs in order before you're... 7 days.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie. 6.5.
7 business days.
Business days? So that means I get the weekend too?
Well, it's Monday's Labor Day, so about 8 days. All right, just stay there. I'm going to come over and kill you now.
Yeah, if you could be more specific, it might help in planning. So,
what if I go across the international date line? Let me get back to you.
coming up soon, we'll be addressing Halloween. But
Yes.
it's a favorite costume for Halloween parties and haunted houses.
Which is the one where you go to where they have a girl who really does the full, clicking and the whole body gesticulation.
Penhurst?
No, it's there's probably one there, but there's one, maybe it's there's
one
it's the one way out where we always get lost going to.
It's in Bucks County.
Yeah.
I know exactly the one you're talking
but the girl who
Valley of Fear?
No.
Might be.
Valley of Fear.
It's out kind of in a woodsy area.
It's Grotto of Consternation is the name of it.
Hang on. Chrissy is on the line to tell us about that haunted attraction. And it is Valley of Fear, isn't it? So it's Valley of Fear?
It is Valley of Fear, and the girl who does play the one from The Ring, who was there for a long time, Liz, is just a phenomenal singer too. I just wanted to let you guys know.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah, she's incredibly talented.
And she was good. It says you were moving along, she'd move along, and she never sang really, but she
didn't
I'm
sing.
the chick from The Ring, and I'm coming after you.
So her name is Liz?
Yes, Liz.
All right, cool. Thank you, Chrissy. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Cause in 7 days
See ya.
you're through. Chopper to buy.
All right.
It's not that scary.
I know, it's not
Yeah.
scary when you sing it.
Yeah, right? Wouldn't it be a little less if it were a musical?
I live in a well and my life's kind of hell and I'm coming after you.
My life's kind of hell.
I'm the chick in the well and my life's kind of hell, but I'm a coming after you. In 7 days.
7 days.
In 7 days.
7 days.
7 days.
Coming after you in 7 days.
Hey.
The Ring, the musical.
Turn my mic on!
You turn his mic off.
I didn't turn it off. I think you might have hit the button yourself there, dude.
Uh-oh.
No, there we go.
I just hit that button.
All right.
Wait a second. What's going on?
Wait a
What
second.
just happened here?
Your mic will turn off in 7 seconds. Your mic will turn off in 7 seconds.
What? I don't have a mic.
So, what's going on with Lindsay Lohan and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia?
I'm sorry, I don't kiss and tell.
Mohammed bin Salman is his name.
Hey, Sababin bin Dalbin.
Rumors are... Mohammed bin Salman.
Salbin bin Dagbin. I love you.
Mohammed bin Salman.
What?
Rumors are circulating that the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, who many critics say is a dictator and the real power behind the throne of his father, King Salman, and the perpetually beleaguered Lilo have formed a special relationship of some sort.
Wait a second, come again, roast beef?
Some believe that he is a dictator and the real power behind the throne of his father, King Salman. So sources spill that he flies her around on his jets and showers her with presents, even gifting her with a credit card.
Oh, it's a Discover card. It pays you for every purchase.
A rep denies the claim.
What's in your wallet?
What's in your wallet? But sources insist that Lindsay, who has been based partly in Dubai for a few years, is regularly courted by Middle Eastern dignitaries.
I love dictators.
In Saudi culture of late.
Yeah, Kim Jong-un, this is Lindsay.
Last year declared her intention to make an all-female film dubbed Frame about Saudi Arabian life.
I want to make an all-female version of Steel Magnolias.
It is an all-female. It's already.
God damn it.
This Sunday at the Man. Tickets are on sale now via Ticketmaster. You can go to WMMR.com for more ticket information. Oh, were we going to play a little thing for Shauna here?
Yeah.
Okay, why was there a fart in there?
Dude, good question. I have no idea.
Hang on a second. There's an edit at the beginning.
How?
You know, when you put so many farts into so many things, they just...
Here.
It's like glitter. It gets everywhere.
It gets everywhere.
Forget Project Blue Book. I want to figure out how farts end up in every one of our effects.
Okay. Listen to this. That had to have been a mistake.
I don't know. Well,
it
we
had to
could
have been
go
a
back,
mistake of an edit.
find out what we were doing on July 1st of this year, and that's when that edit was made. July 1st.
Chances are it was fart related.
One more time.
Okay.
Here we go from the beginning.
There's something else there, too.
Yeah, there's somebody
besides the
yelling
fart.
in the background. So I wait to.
That's how the Corn song came in.
It almost sounds like, "Are we talking?"
Yeah.
Somebody's about to say, "Are we talking about?" I don't know. I don't know. Still Pierre's catchphrase. I don't know. Anyway, we had a random texter that won as well. Tickets to see Tenacious D, and it's Brett Facine, I believe is how you say his name, and he is in. That's got to be Schwanksville. Yeah, Schwanksville, Pennsylvania. Hey, Brett, congratulations.
Marissa, I think, might have the
answer.
lowdown, yeah.
Okay, Marissa.
Is Alan Ruck in Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Yes.
Okay, so it was Alan Ruck's birthday, his 66th birthday. We played the fart sound, and we played Shauna, and the fart sound played.
Okay.
That's it. So maybe it's been an error since even
An error
before
sitting
then.
around that time.
So we talked about the fact that there was a fart in the beginning.
Yes.
Oh, God, and we never fixed it.
All right, I'm going to see if I can fix this.
Should he fix it?
Months,
No.
6 days,
I think it's beautiful.
And 4 hours later, we're still talking about this.
All right, let me see if I can fix it again.
It's like that original Corn discovery.
All right, he fixed it. No.
What? All right, let me undo one more time. Let's see what that does.
There it is.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Okay.
Worth it.
It was. It was. All right. We should do today's lesson question and give away something there. We have a pair of tickets.
Shauna.
As we're presenting the Bill Burr live program, Slight Return, Friday, September 16th, Wells Fargo Center. The question is, those California mini shark bugs are going to need what? 215. 215-263-WMMR. Those California mini shark bugs are going to need a what? 215-263-WMMR. You had to have heard it in order to know the answer. It was earlier this morning in our 8 o'clock hour, and I want to see if you know. We'll do the trash while you call.
The trash business is a gold mine.
93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
All right, it's brought to you by Horizon Services. Book early with Horizon Services Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing to refresh your heating system for just $79, and then lock in an AC tune-up in the spring for just $59. Book fast at horizonezbook.com. What's up this morning, Steve?
Well, though family is an ongoing theme in his Fast and Furious films, Tyrese Gibson had to be ordered to pay $10,000 a month in child support by an irritated judge. Gibson defended himself, saying he always meant his pretend movie family.
No.
Hey!
Olivia Wilde says she was distraught over having to cut some sexually charged scenes from her movie Don't Worry, Darling in order to get approved by the MPA. Wilde says one sublime scene in particular had Harry Styles docking with a mule. And finally, She-Hulk actress Jamila Jamil slamming people for perpetuating this rumor that Leah Michelle can't read, saying it's harmful. Said Jamil, quote, Leah could road gooder than a Anglush treacher. And that's your Hollywood trash.
We're looking for an answer to this question. Those California mini shark bugs are going to need a what? And we are going to go to Josh to see if we can get an answer from him. Yo, Josh, good morning. Oh, he hung up, I guess. Yeah, so, all right, we're going to go to Toby and see if we can get an answer. Hey, Toby, good morning.
Morning it.
All right, Toby, those California mini shark bugs are going to need a what?
Smaller boat.
A smaller boat. You got it, Tobe. Hang on. So we just got you a pair of tickets as the Preston and Steve Show presents Bill Burr Slight Return Friday, September 16th at the Wells Fargo Center. Tickets are on sale now via wellsfargocenterphilly.com.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Yeah. So we'll start with this. Korn bassist Reginald Fieldy Arvizu. No. Arvizu.
Okay.
His nickname is Fieldy. Says that his Stillwell project has nothing to do with Korn. He said via social media some clarity about Stillwell. I've been doing Stillwell for about 16 years. This isn't something new, although to some of you it is, and that's cool. Along with my bros Wov and Q, we've put out 3 albums. We're about to drop our 4th. He continued saying it has nothing to do with Korn or my status with Korn or anything else. It's just heavy music.
I love Q.
Or he said it isn't heavy music. It's alternative rock. He added, we've always wrote Stillwell music while on tour with Korn or at home. And we've actually opened for Korn back in 2011. And add one more little fact. The first Stillwell video, Killing Myself to Live, was during a Korn concert back when David was in Korn. And he's in the video. And that's how far back Stillwell goes. Again, it isn't metal or new metal or heavy music. It was just my way of being respectful to the integrity of Korn. I knew Stillwell had to be different.
What the hell are you talking about?
There you go.
There's the original.
Proof that rock history can usually be found in somebody's closet. 7 minutes of amazingly clear fan-shot footage from Led Zeppelin's legendary September 4th, 1970 concert at the Forum in L.A. has been discovered. The footage, which is now up on YouTube, has been expertly synced with the classic bootleg of the show titled On Blueberry Hill, and was shot by fan Eddie Vincent, who smuggled his family's wind-up 8mm Kodak Brownie into the gig, which allowed him to record in 30-second bursts.
It was like rerun.
Yeah, at the Doobie Brothers show, yeah.
With a trench coat.
Where's that footage?
Vincent told Classic Rock, I had really great seats. They were right behind the band. I had seats in the front row right behind John Bonham's kit. The only problem was that you couldn't really see John because of the gong was there. But he came around and chatted to us while they were doing the acoustic set. So I haven't seen any of this yet, but I am interested because they're calling it really good footage.
It's wild. There was some Jimi Hendrix footage that surfaced recently that was like in superb condition. Him playing outdoors. And the clarity is just amazing. It's like, is this somebody pretending to be Jimi Hendrix? But it's him.
That's
and
cool.
It's wild.
And then finally, coming on October 13th is the autobiography from AC/DC frontman Brian Johnson. It's titled The Lives of Brian. So the book has been delayed for about a year, and it'll be published by Day Street Books, an imprint of the William Morrow Group at HarperCollins. The Lives of Brian show follows Johnson's first book, Rockers and Rollers Full Throttle Memoir, which detailed his life story through his love of racing and automobiles. The executive editor said in a statement, Brian's memoir captures an unforgettable moment in rock history. Anyone who wants to understand Brian's roots as well as the moment of ignition when he joined AC/DC and helped create a monster album will be in for an unforgettable ride. So I guess it's kind of about Back in Black.
It would have to be, right?
Which would be great because that album's a masterpiece. So we will see. And there you go. That's what I have in music news for you this morning. All right, so let's give away something as we take a break. I have a case of Troegs Lucky Holler Hazy IPA for caller number 17 at 215-263. WMMR, by the way, is a hoppy, hazy harvest ale delivering bright waves of pineapple, juicy citrus, and ripe passion fruit. It's so good you'll want to holler, they say. Pick up a six-pack today at your local Acme market. So caller 16, is that what I said, or 17? I don't remember. Connor will tell you if you win or not. 5, 4, he's, what is that? Oh, 17. He did this.
Yeah.
All right. I get it now. It took me a minute. All right, 215-263 WMMR. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
And Dennis Rodman, Hillary Swank, and Robzan Kadyrov.
Yes.
Steven Seagal and Vladimir Putin are just a few of the reported Hollywood political odd couples. So Lindsay might be, I don't know, tight with Mohammed bin Salman.
Wow.
And yeah, it's pretty wild, isn't it? A former Cape Breton University student says that she regrets not making a formal complaint 3 years ago against a professor who was fired this summer for demanding moose meat, lobster, and sex from a student in exchange for better grades.
In that order?
Moose meat, lobster, and sex.
All right, you don't have moose meat. You don't have lobster.
You got any lobster?
Sex. All right, look, how about sex?
She said,
Wait, I found some moose meat. Yeah!
She said, I wish I did something back then. I wish I got him fired, Jess Hardy said. Then the situation wouldn't have happened. She was a first-year student and said that Shamal Fernaduple made inappropriate comments and suggestions.
You're going to ruin the day, Fernaduple.
And her appearance, and implied that he wanted a sexual relationship with her, and he would say inappropriate things all the time. Now, unfortunately, as the story goes on, it never gets into the details about the moose meat and lobster.
Well, it's a bizarre
That's what I'm
pecking
most
order.
interested in.
Right, yes. You don't understand.
But they ended up firing this guy because he apparently did.
Was it the moose meat?
To a couple of students. It was the moose meat.
He's here in front of the dean. It was the moose meat, wasn't it? Well, actually, the number 3 on the list here, the sex.
So apparently he wasn't only demanding sex, but moose meat and lobster.
I should have stopped at lobster.
And they fired him. So there you go. That's all I have in the
It's
details.
like he's looking for something to round out the list.
Yeah.
And the sex.
Yeah. Courtney Kardashian is fighting back against critics who claim that she does no work.
Preston, are you saying she's clapping back?
She is clapping back, Steve. Yep. And she got some blowback after posting multiple shots from her family vacations in Italy and Idaho. I know.
So what's it going to be, kids? Italy or Idaho?
She's only visiting places that start with I.
Yeah.
And Idaho happened to be on the list. In Italy...
Indiana!
In Italy, the Poosh founder partied with her 3 kids, Mason, Penelope, and Rain. Remember Poosh?
I'm sorry, I just pooshed.
Yeah, that's her. Is that her lifestyle brand? Poosh?
Trying to be like Goop, I guess.
Yeah.
Poosh. I just pooshed in my pants.
People brought you queef and drippy fart.
But she partied.
Poosh. Poosh, and Queef. The award-winning triple line from Courtney Kardashian.
The Poosh found her party with her 3 kids nominally for her sister Kylie's 22nd birthday.
With the subtle scent of salmon.
Several other family members were there, as was her ex, Scott Disick, with whom she shares her children, and his girlfriend, Sophia Richie. Now, in Idaho, Courtney and her kids...
We're going to Idaho, kids!
...hung with her sister Kendall. One social media user commented, "Courtney, this is why people say you don't work, girl." And she replied, so she clapped back.
She clapped back.
"We all have our priorities, so I'll be making memories with my kids and amazing people while living my life to the absolute fullest." And then a fight broke out between commenters who praised her for prioritizing her kids over at work and others who said, as working moms, they were dedicated to family too. And so Courtney clapped back again.
So she clapped back at the mothers?
She says, "Who says I'm not a working mom? Because I most definitely am. Working moms can be dedicated, of course. As women, we should be supporting each other for what allows us to be our best, not being so critical and judgmental of each other. We all do things our own way."
Did they counterattack with the clap salvo?
I don't think so. There was not. Underlying her point, she wrote, "A travel diary coming soon."
Can't wait.
On Poosh. And I guess there must be an Instagram account because it says @Poosh.
Poosh.
Yeah, @Splooge. Splooge. We need to start our own lifestyle brand called
Jig Jill.
Splooge. All right. So anyhow,
well, that's her fight song.
Well, I guess so.
This is my fight song. Take back my life song.
Live it,
To be
girl.
honest, though, following her on Instagram, I don't follow her on Instagram, but I follow her through all the pages of TMZ and all that stuff as I put together stuff for the Hollywood Trash. And to be honest, I've never seen her do anything but vacation.
I know.
Well,
Never.
That's what her job is.
That is her job.
Yep. Well, she's working hard then.
Well, just consult Poosh if you want to find out what she's up to.
Let's talk about the happiest place on earth.
It's magical.
Disney. This is Disneyland, by the way, in Anaheim. And there's a viral video, yes, that is making the rounds of a couple of families beating the ever-loving piss out of each other for about 4 minutes before they finally go their separate ways.
That's a long fight.
It is a long fight.
Is someone in a wheelchair?
It's in Toontown, by the way. There was somebody on a mobility scooter.
Okay, all right.
Kathy, but the fight happens. They start to split up. Then it sparks back up again. Then they kind of split up. Then it keeps going on and on.
I mean, and it's like the Andy Kaufman used to do the intergender wrestling.
Yeah.
They're brawling. Doesn't matter. The dude's beating on the woman.
Oh my God! Wait, so that's okay. I'm just seeing this for the first time.
the
guy
fists are flying.
punches the woman.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a couple of women beating up. It's just a mess.
Where's security?
Not that it's an excuse, but it kicks off. They're having words, and the woman just spits right in this guy's face, and then he slugs her. But I can't figure out who's on whose side.
No, neither can I.
It's like I'm like, oh, he's hitting her now. I thought she was with him, and it's just who the hell knows what's going on.
And then the woman in the mobility scooter gets up as if
She can walk.
Yeah.
It's a
miracle. This stupid fight between these imbeciles has caused a miracle.
You know what? And there's a moment in this video where the whoever is filming this video, by the way, is laughing the whole time. She's not with them because obviously she would be getting in the middle of this.
And she's up close.
But there's an older woman who gets knocked down to the ground on her back, and you hear the woman filming just laughing her ass off. And I'm like, this is, and you can hear children crying in the background.
Oh my God. There's a little kid walking around, and it's obviously this is there. I will freely admit, I chuckled a few times, but the really tragic part of this here is this little kid is watching these adults do this and walking around with his hands up like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Even a kid can't figure it out.
And he taps, I guess, who is his mother. Like, hello, I'm here. Obviously he needs attention. He's upset too.
And all the while in the background, you have the delightfully colored Toontown.
Oh my God.
Happy place.
Listen, I understand that things can go awry anywhere, and somebody can have a bad day, and something can trigger. But if you can have the presence of mind to be aware of where you are, right then and there, you're in Disneyland,
the happiest place on earth.
Come on, look around you, see where you are. Shut up. But some people are just Some people are just a-holes.
It just kills me in this one because there was another one, Preston. I forget it was at like a kids park. It was like an amusement park. It very well may have been Disney World. And this one's great because the woman in the mobility scooter in that one, Kathy, she doesn't get up, but she starts using her mobility scooter to join the fight. She's backing up and ramming the brawling people.
So apparently, this one, they're all in the same family. They're all related.
What?
Yeah.
What?
So this is an ongoing investigation. No arrests have been made, but there was infighting that had begun outside of the park, and the fight just continued inside the park.
No arrests?
No arrests. They all knew each other.
ridiculous.
Well, not yet anyway, Case. They said the investigation's ongoing. But
After they viewed the video, now they're looking at potentially.
Because then that guy goes on.
Everything. I saw it all. It was a mess.
But then the guy goes on to slap another woman and take her to the ground.
Kathy, he doesn't just slap her. I mean, and this is horrifying, but he gives her a haymaker.
Just some unwritten rules, right? Like
protocol.
Yeah, protocol. and
You
all that
don't
sort of
fire on someone else's bitch.
No, you don't.
Not in Toontown.
Not in Toontown, man. You take that to Epcot.
I think, Casey, of your story at the 4th of July parade all
That's
the time.
exactly what I was thinking.
And the bending down and addressing them as a father to kids who needed to be addressed by their father. But like you get in that mentality sometimes, and this is a place where that can happen.
You can have an Independence Day from life.
Oh, I totally understand.
I'm gonna make you independent of your life.
But on the outside, everybody else.
Hey, what a good dad.
Oh, you were. Oh, you poor thing. You're so upset. You better stop crying right now.
Don't cry. Don't even let him know you're in pain.
A former Cape Breton University student says that she regrets not making a formal complaint 3 years ago against a professor who was fired this summer for demanding moose meat, lobster, and sex from a student in exchange for better grades.
In that order?
Moose meat, lobster, and sex.
All right, you don't have moose meat. You don't have lobster.
You got any lobster?
Sex. All right, look, how about sex?
She said,
Wait, I found some moose meat. Yeah!
She said, I wish I did something back then. I wish I got him fired, Jess Hardy said. Then the situation wouldn't have happened. She was a first-year student and said that Shamal Fernaduple made inappropriate comments and suggestions.
You're going to ruin the day, Fernaduple.
And her appearance, and implied that he wanted a sexual relationship with her, and he would say inappropriate things all the time. Now, unfortunately, as the story goes on, it never gets into the details. For being on the show today,
so good.
Gary's great. We had funny stuff. We had serious stuff. We had some little moments there that were kind of a little thought-provoking.
That's him.
Yeah, it's great. So Gary was calling us from his car. He's waiting to see his mom, but it was really nice. He's going to be in town at the Sellersville Theater October 22nd, and tickets available at GaryGoldman.com. And he's also going to be performing at the Baby Grand in Wilmington later on in November, so you'll be able to catch him then if you don't see him this next time around, which is pretty cool. So it's nice having Gary on. So we need to do the letter of the day. Do we know if he's here or not?
I didn't see him.
Okay. We should
do this.
Let's do this. Here we go.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
And the Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by the letter
O, as in O-range.
All right. And we have two more to go. I know that's not even a word, but we'll let it fly. So we have two more to go, and we will give away a Piezeek round barbecue and fire pit kit from Landis Block. And Landis Block, you can start imagining your backyard paradise by looking at the photo gallery that we have online, or they have online at landisbc.com. So, yep. All right. I guess we just need to thank our sponsors.
Yes.
And then move out the way so Pierre can take you through the rest of your day. The Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by Acme Markets. Fresh foods, local flavors. Acme, official grocery store of the Preston and Steve Show. Also brought to you by Dunkin'. The Preston and Steve Show runs on Dunkin'. And by Squeezed.com. Feel great and lose weight with Squeezed. Tomorrow on our program, we are going to have Kevin Smith.
Yes.
In the studio. He's doing the Clerks 3 screening and Q&A tonight at the Keswick. He will be in our studio tomorrow, hopefully. We'll see about that.
That's okay. He's doing a fair amount of press on it. So.
I have to remind him tonight that he's coming in tomorrow. So somebody can remind me to remind him.
Okay. And then also we have...
comedian Dion Cole.
Dion Cole joining us. Okay,
yes.
cool. So we're going to have a good time tomorrow, and hopefully you will be joining us. But stay here all day long. Continue on Back to School A to Z. That's it. We're done. Ray, John, have a great day. We'll see you later, gang. Bye-bye.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Hey, everybody, it's good to